Hey, it says we're live. Welcome to the Bob and Tam Show today.
Hello, how is everybody?
We'll say, and excellent adventures.
Our excellent adventures.
But team,
Well, I
nation.
wasn't sure he kept saying, I don't know. And he went.
Came on a few seconds early because we just wanted to make sure everything's working since we're at home doing this. And you can see we're out in the garage. And
Here's my thing, there it is. So there's Karen.
So
Karen's on.
so we're trying to do a few different things here, and we're not on the phones yet. My
Does
phone's
the
not on
chip
yet.
have either, yeah,
Your
mine's
phone
on.
came on.
Does the chip have either cabins or something for power? There's those who have CPAPs.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when
That
we
was the
talk,
other
we'll
thing.
talk about that real quick, since he had a question about that. He said his son is probably going to be going out there. Yes, the cabins they have electric in them. They have an air conditioner. I don't know what the other accessories they have. Some of them I think have little refrigerators. Some have coffee makers. It just depends which cabin, but they all have electricity in them. They all have an air conditioner, that's for sure. So that's not a problem. There's also a couple other options. You can also rent a trailer from Jack's Trailer, which will give you electricity too. And another option is our buddy Marcus that has, what's his tent colony called?
Camp Easy Ride?
Yep,
I think
Camp
that's it.
Easy Ride. They have electricity. You don't get air conditioning, you're in a tent. But there is enough. When I talked to him last year, he said there's enough to run a CPAP machine. What they do is they have a bunch of generators and they run extension cords to all the trailers, all the tents, and they give them electricity. Normally to run like a fan, or you can charge your phone up, but you can't run like an air conditioner on it. Generators wouldn't handle all that. So
Yes, we did. And we're happy to be home.
so we made it
Still in the
home.
town.
We actually made it home. Was it Thursday?
Thursday.
So Thursday we made it home.
After, are you going to tell them?
No,
about
we
that
haven't
yet?
got to do a video on that. We had some trouble on the way home.
We were probably not even, 50 miles outside of being home.
So we'll have a video on that and show all that. I need to go back out and film a couple things that we didn't think about it. She filmed once it happened, but not building up to it. So we got to go out and do a little beginning part of that to start that video. Got a couple of videos coming up. We actually spent Monday. We were still there Monday night in Sturgis. And so we do a kind of a walk around town, show you what's still there, talk a little bit about it. That video is going to come out tomorrow night. And then on Tuesday, we got another video that's going to come out. Is we found the coolest place. If you're coming anywhere around Utah, and it's not the Mormon Tabernacle Church or whatever you want to call it. I want to say choir, but it wasn't choir. But the big Mormon thing, that ain't what I'm talking about. We found the coolest place if you're a motorcycle person and a little bit of a historian. We found a really neat place you should check out, and we've seen it several times going to Sturgis. So we want to pass that on to you so you guys will get to see that on Tuesday. It's just uploading now in the office back there, over there. And so that'll be coming up. We've got some more neat videos that are going to be coming up. We got a couple more on Sturgis, and then we've got one on the gauges, on the Dakota Digital. We actually had the guy go through and tell you all the neat things that it could do. And there's some things I didn't even know when I already bought the stupid things. Not stupid things. They're really neat. If I would have known what I know today, I would have bought them a long time ago. So
Jerry Zani asked if we had any of the Tennessee whiskey yet.
yeah, not
So
yet.
Jerry and Jill gave us this.
Yeah.
We have not tried
So,
it yet. I should chill it.
it's
Should
sitting-
I chill it? I don't know.
We save it for parties. So we'll lower it down a little bit. There's our Jack Daniel's barrel that I bought. It's going to go in the new garage studio. If any of you guys seen that, we did a little short on it the other day. Most of you that are on Patreon have been seeing pictures all along. I'm suspecting we're not going to have any more rain this week. I'm figuring they're probably going to be done with it by Friday. They'll be done. And then I'll have to wait for the county to give me an okay to go inside the building.
2 more.
What are you jabbering about?
Blake's on. I said 2 more days and I get to see him.
So,
See him Tuesday.
So a lot of things going on. We'll also talk about, there's a couple of things that they brought up about, should I, out of all the campgrounds, we're thinking about going out to Sturgis next year for our first time. Not us. I'm reading what somebody sent me an email earlier on. And probably after I'll explain it all, they'll probably come on in about 20 minutes and say, will you cover that again? So we'll go through it now because I'm still thinking about that. So what they were asking about is, out of the 3 biggest campgrounds, the Buffalo Chip, Glencoe and Pappy Hoyle, what's kind of the difference and what would you recommend? Well, the big thing about recommending something like that, it depends on what you want. That's the big thing. Pappy Hoyle, I'll tell you the good and the bad of each one of them. We'll start with Pappy Hoyle. They're the farthest outside of town. So it's going to be a hassle getting in and out of there all the time. The police seem, they always say the police seem to be out there more. I don't know. We do see cars pulled over. I did see a couple motorcycles this year pulled over on there. But I also seen them out there on the road that's right in front of the Beaver Bar and the Buffalo Chip. So I don't know. So all that corridor, you really have to watch your speed. And before the rally, it's like 65 miles an hour out there going out to the Buffalo Chip, and it drops down to like 45. And then I think it's like 35 right in front of the Buffalo Chip, or not Buffalo Chip, the Full Throttle. So that's the one thing. There's an awful lot of cars and motorcycles that get pulled over on the way to the Full Throttle coming out of town. So that's one downgrade of that. Other thing is there's nothing else out there. You're going to drive 7 miles out there, and there's nothing to stop at on the way out there. So you're out there in the middle of nowhere, if you don't mind 7 miles. Some of the things that's nice about Pappy Hoyle is most of his campground, which we didn't get a full count because we didn't really get to talk to Jesse this time. He was on a concert tour that weekend we went out there. Most of his spots, I think, have sewer. I think he's probably got the most electric, water, and sewer hookups for RVs. So that's a positive thing. There is no shade out there. He's out in the middle of nowhere. Some people talk about dust. What did we see when we went out there the weekend before? A dust bowl going through
like a tornado.
And so yes, everybody pretty much had dust this year.
They do have that gigantic Olympic-sized swimming pool.
Yes. So that's one of the positive things they got is they do have a pool, which is really nice there. You are access to the Full Throttle Saloon. I believe if you're on there, you can come and go as you please. When it comes to concert times, you don't have to pay the $20 to get in after 6 o'clock. I think if you show in later, it doesn't matter. Nice thing too is you can drag your chairs over from the campground. You're not quite as far away. If you've got a golf cart or an ATV or something like that, you can bring that over. You can't drive it inside, but you can bring it over there. Or you can just ride your bike over and park inside. So there are some of the benefits of Pappy Hoyle. Glencoe, it's its own little campground. It's a little more wilder there. Clothing optional in a lot of the campground. Inside the buildings, you have to wear clothes other than taking a shower. But other than that, But I mean, they have some bands out there and stuff, and they have.
That's where Jasmine King was at.
Yeah, well, she played at several places.
Well, yeah, she did, but
so she was one of the places she played. She played about 4 or 5 different places because she had a contract that somebody canceled at the last minute, so she ran out. She already had just one job. She thought she was only going to have time for one, and then she came back and booked a whole bunch of places just so it was worthwhile for her just to stay out there. So that's Glencoe. They don't have any swimming pool. Their big thing is Booby Road down there. People do burnouts all night long. It's pretty wild along there. To be down there where all the shade and stuff is, that's all dry camping. You either got to be in a tent, a trailer, pickup truck, sleeping bag on the floor, whatever you want. So that's that. You still have to buy a bracelet for that too. So the Full Throttle, I don't believe Pappy Hoyle. There's a charge for bands. I think they just have the camping price and that's it.
Because I think they've got a special way in the back way. So because I think you get to get in all the concerts for free that are at Full Throttle. But I think there's a way you guys from the campground get into the Full Throttle, and it's only through the campground. Because you have to have something to get into the campground. I don't think you can.
And they make it bands to get you through the gates, like we did at Kathmandu. You had to have a band. We didn't pay for that. That just shows you what campground you're at, so they can see when you go through the gate. So that's what it is. The last one is the Buffalo Chip. Now we've stayed at the Buffalo Chip. It's one of the possibilities for this year. We're still negotiating with a couple of campgrounds now. We'll know a little more about that in the next few weeks. We'll find out what the special is, if there's a deal, and how it all going to work out. So what's the advantage of? Well, first of all, you got to buy a wristband. That's the first thing you got to do. If you buy it early, you're going to spend. Usually, it's around. Like the first one we bought was like $258 or something for the wristband plus tax. Maybe it was $250 and it was $8 for tax. I don't remember what it was, but it was right around the $250 mark when we bought it 2 years ago. And the best thing to do is if you're going to do any of these chimes, you need to book your reservations as soon as possible. Try it at least.
The earlier you book, the cheaper it'll be.
That's right. And a lot of times, just like the Buffalo Chip, they said sometime in September they'll probably open up the network. The sooner you book, the better off you are. You're going to always get the cheapest prices because they never know how busy it's going to get throughout the year. They don't know for sure what bands they're going to have anywhere. Nobody knows yet. Nobody knows nothing about nothing. So they just know, hey, this is what we're going to start charging next year, and this is where we're going to start at. So what's also nice about the Buffalo Chip is they are the only ones that have name brand entertainment. That's just the way it is. Nobody, and why? Because it is the largest campground that's out there.
It depends on what you're going for. If you're going and you want to see all those concerts, then the Buffalo Chip is probably your best bet, because then you're there. You don't have to worry about driving around and things like that. You're there and you don't have to worry about getting there in all the traffic and leaving in all the traffic.
So that's one of the benefits is they have concerts. The other thing they have is they have a lot of events that go on out there. A lot of them are actually free. You can go anytime you want. They had 10 bike shows this year. They had the stunt shows out there. They have the Wall of Death out there. All this stuff. They got a museum where you can see all these custom bikes that builders have built. That's free. But a lot of people don't realize that until you stay there and then you see all the stuff they've got going on. They also have a lot of beer specials and stuff, drink specials that they even have $1 during the week. They are during the day, they have $1 special on draft beers. So, you know, there is specials going on. They prefer you to buy your liquor from them. They do sell it inside the campground. They actually tell you you're not supposed to bring any alcohol in, and we won't say any more than that. But the beer is really not that much difference than what it is down at the grocery store. Everybody jacks their prices up anyway.
Even grocery stores. We didn't realize that. Somebody told us that.
Yeah. I don't think Walmart does, but I know the grocery stores in Sturgis put up their beer at least. I don't know if they rack every price up, but their beer and ice and all that stuff, they bring the price up higher. The other thing with the Buffalo Chip is they have a lot of stuff that's going on inside the Buffalo Chip campground. They've got a Bikini beach. You can swim in the pond that they have down there. It's irrigated, so it doesn't look too bad. They have a slip and slide. They got a rope. They have all kinds of games, all kinds of that you can do while you're there. So that's kind of neat. There's also a lot of campgrounds there that put on their own event. There's one that happens after the concert. It's called Titty's Beer. From that song, they've got a special place, a bunch of stages, a bunch of poles. You know what happens after that. The only thing that I see, which I imagine Glencoe is probably like this. I don't know if Pappy Hoyle's is because Pappy Hoyle hasn't been out there that long. But in Buffalo Chip, I couldn't believe how many people last year had been going out there for 20, 30, 40 years. Been going out there, and they all were friends. And we see that in all of that Sturgis anyway, that a lot of people are overall pretty friendly, and that's one of the reasons we like the Sturgis rally. So that's kind of a rundown of where you would stay. Would I ever stay at Glencoe? I don't know. Probably not, just for the fact that I feel because of us being YouTubers, it would just be hard to get in and out of the place. We tried to go down there one time a couple years ago, actually 2 years ago. We tried to go down there and we were going to pay the $25 to get in one night because we got some friends that stay down there. Some of you guys stay down there. And the line was just outrageously. We stood there for over half an hour and still hadn't moved. And they had one person in the box checking people in, and that's it. And I'm like, what happens if you want to just buy a pass? Can we go to another one? No, you got to stay in that line with everybody else. So half people didn't have their IDs. It's not like going to the Buffalo Chip where they have 8 or 10 windows that are open at one time, and we're waiting on a lot of people getting them in and out.
Actually, they need to turn the pool, the Bikini Beach area into a pool. He says, but it looked pretty funky by the end of the rally.
I don't know if they throw anything. We'd have to ask them if they throw any chlorine or anything.
Well, when we got there early, I looked at it and it looked like a regular old pond. But then when we got there later and was watching stuff, it looked more not green, yucky green, but green like they threw some chemicals or something in it.
Like, we'll have to ask. I imagine they probably do put chlorine or something in the thing because you wouldn't want to get people sick. It's not that big. But same thing with the pool. You know, I don't know if Pappy Hoyle's, as that week goes on, do you want to get in that pool? I probably wouldn't. Imagine most of the people are drunk, stupid, and they're in there taking a leak in the pool. Nobody's getting out. So, and people are getting in there sweaty and hot. Because I don't think there's even any showers at the pool there. I don't know. We looked at the pool, but we never walked around to the other side.
I stuck my feet in.
Yeah, but I know it's the water. But I mean, we didn't go see if the building had a shower house in it.
Oh.
So I'm just saying, if you were hot and sweaty like this year and jumped into it, everybody would be hot and sweaty. Same thing. So that could be a problem too.
Somebody said, don't forget about Shade Valley, because Shade Valley is getting some bands out there too, but it's
Shade Valley. Yeah, Shade Valley, the only thing, which we stayed out there, I don't know, 8 or 9 years ago. It's been a while. Different owners. We had some issues with them last year. We had some of you guys complain about some of the issues that they went out there and tried to talk to them about camping this year at it, and they kind of blew them off. We never actually, the owners here are in town. We should get a hold of them this year and kind of chat with them about what.
It's somebody who knows them. Is it, I guess, the guy that's doing our building?
No, Larry knows them too.
Oh, I guess. Yeah, I guess that's who it was. What are you doing over there, big dog?
So we don't know. So yes, the only thing I didn't care, which I'm assuming if you Shade Valley, if you've been to Shade Valley, do you have to buy a pass there too if you're camping? So is there a wristband you have to buy? Because they're charging for all their concerts. So we were actually going to go out there maybe listen to Lilac play because we knew them from California here, and they wanted $25. And I'm like, no, they're not worth 20. They're not worth $50 for us two to watch.
There's a water park in Spearfish. They said Sturgis needs a water park. They're building
one, but it's going to have all that blow up crap in it, and it's. Where's it going to be at? Oh, it's going to be out there, I think, by the off of Junction there, on the other side, down there by the Ford dealer and next to Arby's and all that. I think that's where they bought the ground at, that the city bought up, and it's more for locals. But I don't know how the locals are going to use that. But the Spearfish does have one. So those are the 3 campgrounds. Pappy Hoyle. Would I say Pappy Hoyle's? I would probably try Pappy Hoyle's to say that I've tried there. Once again, I don't like to be that far away from Sturgis. And it depends on what you want to do. See, that's what it all depends. Us, we live out of Sturgis because that's our starting point of what we're going to do. When we do all of our rides, we're there a month before. And we got there on June 28th. Within a week or so, we were out doing all of our rides. We go out and do Iron Mountain, Needles Highway, Custer, go out and visit all the towns that are out that way. If we were going to go to Badlands, we would go there because you're already 30, 40 miles closer than you were if you're anywhere on the other Sturgis or farther out. So we get all of our rides done then. So then when we come in, now we're looking to spend more time in Sturgis. We're looking now, hey, we'll do Spearfish Canyon. We'll do Von Knocker Road. We'll go out maybe to Devil's Tower. Go out and do all the events that are around town. Because usually once the rally starts, you want to be, if you want to go to any of those concerts, you want to be halfway close. I wouldn't want to be out in Hill City or even out in Deadwood. I really wouldn't want to be coming into concerts and seeing them in Deadwood. From Deadwood coming into the Buffalo Chip.
If you're planning on going back, if you're bringing a tent and going to stay there, then
most people I don't think do that. Now, see, the Full Throttle I don't think gives you can keep the tent there. So Buffalo Chip does. Buffalo Chip, you want to go to one of those concerts. And you can bring you a bedroll, you can bring you a sleeping bag, you can bring you a small tent. Some people went out the day before that day and set it up after they got their bracelet, picked it up for the day, go out, set up their tent, put their bike there. That way you know it's all set up, and then take the shuttle back to town or wherever you're camping at, come back, and then you got your bike and everything's already there, and then you just walk into the concert and walk back out, and you don't have to fight all that traffic.
Big Whoop said they stayed at Shade Valley. And they said they're about the same price as the Chip. And they actually talked to the new owners last year, and they said their goal is to be the Chip's rival.
And they're not going to be. The problem that they've done there is, one, they should have never turned the main stage facing the campground. Because it's got to be loud in that campground. Now, see, the advantage that the Buffalo Chip has is they've got those hills around there. And if you're on that back side, it's not the hill's going to block some of that. You're going to hear something? Yes. We heard stuff when we stayed at Buffalo Chip last year, and we were in blue sky. We were probably 8 or 9 trailers up from the Bikini Beach, and in our trailer with everything turned off during Kid Rock, we could not determine what song it was. You could just hear a slow murr of music. It wasn't like somebody had a car next to us that was banging rap music on it. It was rattling inside our trailer. There was nothing rattling. It was just a little bit of noise. And once we turned an air conditioner on over our bed, couldn't hear nothing. So the other choice, which we did, we brought gun muffs, we brought earplugs, we brought all this stuff because everybody told us all this horror about it. Yeah, if you stay across from the Buffalo Chip, across their stage, up on the hill, looking down at the concert, you're probably going to be awake all the way until the concert's over and the bikini contest is over and all that's over, because unless you get drunk and just pass out and
don't care.
yeah, which that could happen to a lot of people. So that is very, very possible. And there's a lot of other great campgrounds there, but it depends on what you want to do. But if Shade Valley is trying to compete, well, see, the problem with Shade Valley is that they don't have the ground there either. They don't own that property in front. And we've had rides go out there. I don't know if they know about it, but with the old owner, they had a poker run that went out there, and all the neighbors had a fit about it, and they had to go back while the rally was going on during this poker run during the rally. They had to go back to stop before them and stop everybody from going down that road, because they had called the police, the sheriff, I guess the sheriff is out there, called the sheriff and said, we don't want these bikes coming down this road. It's a private road. It's not a main road.
The adventure bikes, wasn't it?
Was it the adventure bikes?
I think it was the adventure bikes.
Yeah, maybe it was the
because they had rides planned out, and a lot of them went past Shade Valley, and they said no more. Yeah. Stop it.
So there's a problem where it's not, I don't know if it's county road or if those people own that road going back there. I don't know, but that's the only thing with Shade Valley. They don't have the ground. Buffalo Chip just bought more ground. I don't know how many. He's got at least 600 acres. I think he's got a lot more than that. He just doesn't say it. But that hill where they have the dirt bike races that he owns all that. He owns what's behind the Buffalo Chip where they had the gun show. He owns past that too. So I don't think he wants everybody to know what he owns. But when I asked him the other day we were there, I'm like, do you own all that over there? And he's like, yeah. You own all that over there? Yeah. You own all that over there? Yeah. I said, you only have 600 acres? Yeah, that's about what I got. He always says that's about what I got because he doesn't want anybody to know what he's got. Just like he won't say how many trailers or how many people stay there. He doesn't want people to know his business, which is fine. That's his choice.
Well,
and
like somebody, when we walked in and we asked the girls behind the counter, thought we could get some information out of them. So we asked them something. And it was very of a generic question.
Well, we wanted to know if they knew how many people were coming in on the initial day.
Oh,
so that way we knew if we should get up on pre-rally day.
She's like, that's very personal. That would be like me asking you, how much money do you have in your wallet? And I'm like,
I would have told you.
I don't know. I didn't think. I don't know. I guess they don't want it out there for public.
Well, I guess they got another campground would see. Oh, well, we had 500 people came in, and then Buffalo Chip only had 200 people come in. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Nobody ever really is going to know. But it's like, I don't know. I think Buffalo Chip's got somewhere between 3,000 and 5,000 RV spots. And then no telling how many tents. I don't know if anybody ever really knows how many tents are there, because when you're selling bracelets like that, you don't know. And I think the Full Throttle has hurt their Full Throttle business since they've moved.
Well, Mike was saying he thinks there's a disconnect between Pappy Hoyle and Full Throttle. It's not as integrated as the Buffalo Chip.
Yeah. So yeah.
Thanks, David and Linda.
Full Throttle the bar itself is run by Michael now Ballard. And the campground is run by Jesse from Jackal and his wife Penny. So they do. So I don't know if they physically, money-wise, separated it all. I don't know anything about that. I don't know about the money, but we know who is there and who's taking care of what. And so that's what we know about that. Now, see, the Buffalo Chip.
Full Throttle. They're like just opposite directions. They said their Shade Valley is also 5 ways out, but I think it's probably about 7 miles.
That's about. I think it was 7 miles past the Buffalo Chip. So you got a mile to go from the light there to Buffalo Chip's probably about a mile. So you probably got about 8 miles out there. But it was just what we didn't like about it going to Shade Valley was at night is there's a couple of curves out there and it's dark. There's no light out there, and then you got to make a turn. You got to really look for the road. I think they got a sign up there now, but you have to really look for the road to make a left-hand turn down this road. And it's more of a country road. Is it Pack Rock still? I'm asking the guy that was there at Shade Valley. I don't remember. We didn't even go out there this year.
No, it wasn't intentional. Our plans were to get out there.
Well, we were going to go out there and see Lilac. I would have paid $10 to go see them, but not 25. $50 for us to go see a band that's nobody. No, that's like a house band. And just like, see.
They are getting popular though.
Well, nobody knows who they are. Unless you've been to a concert that they've been at, or you're from California, you have no freaking idea who Lilac is. They were known for remaking everybody else's songs. That's what they did. They were a cover band, more or less. And now they've made a few songs. They're just a bunch of kids, and their mom and dad, or dad used to be in a band, and he never made it. And so he got the kids and taught them, and they're really good. But it's like the Partridge Family, the Osmonds. It's similar to that, but these kids actually know how to play all their instruments and stuff. So it's similar to that. I don't know. They've opened for a few bigger people, but it's more like at fairs and carnivals. They haven't opened, I don't think, anything at a big stadium or anything. So, but once again, I'm not paying for nothing if I go to the Iron Horse. We could have went down and seen. We were on to go that night. And you were too tired. Iron Horse.
I know. I'm trying to think. I don't remember who they had there.
It's the band that plays 5 nights in a row.
Hairball.
And they're a really good band, just like Jasmine Kane. Jasmine Kane's really good. I would put Jasmine Kane above Lilac. She's got probably a lot bigger following, and every one of the places she played was free. So, you can compare, go over there to Kickstands. Kickstands has got a really nice stage there. They got a really nice setup for their band and stuff. It's not a big place, but music sounds pretty good over there. It's loud, but it's pretty good. And their campgrounds, but they're not going to compete with the Buffalo Chip. But yeah, they told us that when they were out there too, that they were gonna have the largest stage. And after I looked at that, I went and looked at the Buffalo Chip last year. They're nowhere near the stage size that they don't have enough ground there to make it that big. They'd have to tear that barn down. The restaurant.
Somebody said they were allergic to the Osmonds.
So, but I'm just saying it's just a family band. And I got nothing against Lilac. Maybe there'll be somebody someday.
He said they're YouTube stars. He said it's a great band for their age. You're YouTube stars.
Which it is. And probably TikTok and all that other stuff that they're on. And that's great. And there's a lot of people like that. But to pay $25 a person to go see them, no. It wasn't worth it.
So I guess Big Whoop said that October, I guess you can start booking at the Iron Horse. I wasn't quite sure how that was. Mike's in Oklahoma, so I wanted to know how he was feeling. He's actually been on there a few times. Somebody said they stay in Whistler's Gulch out in Deadwood. I don't think I've heard of that. I guess it's a campground.
I don't know.
He said they stayed there the last couple of years, and it's an awesome place. Somebody wants to know how your shop's going, and G. Redmond's on.
Yep. So we did the live yesterday. If you can go back and look at it, you can look at it.
It's short.
A short.
It's only like a minute long.
Yeah. So we put that up. That is all we know at this moment. The one side of the building up. We didn't even know that was going up.
We didn't.
The trussing's been up since last week, Tuesday or Wednesday. They put the trussing all up, the main supports, and everybody that's on Patreon seeing that. I got a bunch of Patreon pictures, more detailed than the video. Typically, the Patreon people are the only ones who are really going to see the garage until after it was built. So I decided, I had so many of you guys been asking about the building, what's going on with it. So I decided, hey, I'll show you what it is. The concrete's been poured, the braces have been put up. And then when we went the other day, yesterday, and seen the one side up, my indication would be we're not expecting any rains or any high winds this week. I feel probably by Friday they'll be all done with the building. And then once once the county goes out and looks at it, then we'll be inside. And then from there, there'll be a lot more videos of what goes on inside.
Well, it's funny because when we asked them, they're like, well, do you have any idea when they're going to start putting up the sides? He's like, well, no, it depends on a lot of stuff, and blah, 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 and when they get done with this. And he acted like it was going to be like another week or so. And then we went by yesterday. It's like, holy cow, there's one whole side up. So,
well, I think what they don't want is just like he didn't want to tell us who does the garage doors and all this. And he gave us enough hints we could figure out who it was. But it wasn't the point of that. I was just curious if it was somebody we already knew. But it's the idea they don't want you calling their people and saying, why aren't you here?
I thought you were scheduled to come today and you're not there. We're sitting here waiting for you.
So all that, I understand. And we're having Arizona Steel is who's building our building here in town. We'll do a video on it. When it's all done, we'll do some of the pictures we've taken. We'll see tomorrow, Monday and Tuesday, hopefully, because we're leaving sometime Tuesday to go over to California. Got to go see all of our doctors for a yearly checkup, visit the kids. We'll be there till Sunday, and then we'll come back, and we'll be back over here till the 8th or 9th of September. And then we're going to go up to Washington State. We're going to go up to Seaview. Is that what it is?
Yeah, Seaview or Long Beach.
We're going to be up there for a week for no reason at all. The reason we're going is, one, we have a camping membership that we get a free use of a camper once a year for 5 years. And last year, our daughter used it in Florida to come visit us. This year, nobody used it. And if we don't use it, it's gone.
Use it or lose it.
Yeah. So I thought, hey, if we hit Washington State, we've actually this year been in all 4 corners of the United States. So, I would have never dreamed I would do anything like that. So, hey, take advantage of it before I'm not around to think about ever doing it again. I doubt if we'd ever do it again. So that way we got it done. We can say we did it. She's never been to Washington State. I have. I've flown in. I've never drove up there. We're not going very far. We're just going right along the coast, right across the Oregon border.
Joyce is on. Mike Russell's on. Your sister Joyce. Yes, we're glad to be home. And I saw you got a new puppy. So I was wondering how long that was going to take. That's Bob's sister.
So that's kind of what the plans are. And then after that, we're hearing now that possibly Las Vegas may not be having a bike rally. So we'll find out about that. So we may be done with bike rallies for the rest of the year. We're really thinking about, we were trying to get a hold of somebody while we were in Sturgis to try to pinpoint more stuff for Galveston, and that's not happening. I don't think I paid the full thing for the campground. If I paid it all, I might go, but if we only put down 1 day deposit, then yeah, it's not that big a deal. But I don't remember if I paid for it all or not. I can go back and look. So we'll see what happens about that. But right now, we're not looking to do Galveston.
Thanks, Mike.
And if there was any of you that wanted to do Mexico, we would consider still going down and doing Mexico down in Rocky Point. That's about the second or third weekend of, it's right between Thanksgiving and Galveston. It's the weekend after that.
Yeah.
So
the weekend after Galveston.
So if you're interested in going, you want to let us know, we'll be happy to go down there, meet you at the border and right across with you. But other than that, we're probably not going to go. I've got a lot of things on the schedule here to do with the garage. I talked to my neighbor across the street. He's pretty handy too. He needs a place to put his boat for a while. So we may, don't mind, if he'd help me do some of the work I need to get done in the garage, he would, plus he's getting free stuff for his bike. So he's excited about that too. So we're going to be doing some installs and stuff. I got a set of handlebars coming to put on my bike. I've got some other stuff that we had done in, I can't see yours because it's white.
I guess, but I got a bunch of stuff too.
And so got a lot of things coming up, a lot of videos coming up. We've got one on the other noise that I had in my motor. Also had some other things that we bought for the bike that were kind of going downhill on it that I just replaced. Got that done. We got the one on the digital gauges that's going to come out and show you all the features it's got. If I would have known what I know today, I would have bought digital gauges before. And we got them through Fairing Exchange. The only nice thing about Fairing Exchange is I think they install them. If you buy them from them, I think they install them for free. I think that's the way it works. And I think it's $1,300, $1,400, maybe somewhere in that neighborhood for the gauges, what the correct or what Fairing Exchange charges for that. So
yeah, I think it's right around $1,000, and they charge like $100 to put them in. So I think it's like between $1,100 and $1,200. I think that was last year though. It wasn't this year.
So we didn't ask this year. But so we got a video going to be coming out on that. If you're thinking about, so unless somebody's got questions about 2022, it's kind of over. Everybody had dust, even out at the Buffalo Chip that re-asphalted most of the roads. Now we drove through the roads, we didn't see any dust at all. The whole time we went out there, never seen dust. But one of our subscribers stayed at one of the cabins that were over by the road, and where they were at, they still had rocks. They didn't really have they didn't blacktop it or tar it, which I'm assuming, which we'll be talking to them later this year. I imagine a lot of that's going to get done this year too. They also had it scheduled to work on some of the bathhouses. We went in the bathhouses the last day, and actually they weren't bad at all. So a lot of people complain. That's one of the things why we wanted to get a lot of you. If we end up doing the Buffalo Chip and we get an area there that we can all stay in together, and that you guys can actually see what we've seen. There's a lot of probably all these campgrounds have bad things that people say about them. And it's like the Buffalo Chip. People say, oh, you're never going to sleep. You're never going to do this. Well, you could do that. You could pretty much party there all night long, just like Glencoe. You could party all night long and never go to bed. And it could happen. Now, the bad thing about... I know
about your seat, too. They said they want to get that done during the winter so they can go up for longer rides. Big Whoop does. The rush seat? Well, he didn't have it done. You can buy that seat.
Yeah.
And we haven't done his thing yet, have we? Rush?
No, I just put the video I put up the other day. I didn't end up putting the seat part on it. I just put the part.
What?
You a step stool?
Well, I don't want to put my hand on the thing and flip everything over.
And so the seat you buy, actually get it from Rush. Rush exhaust. You just type in Rush motorcycle parts and it comes up with it. They only make them for Harley Davidsons, and it's only for the touring models. But they do make them all the way up to the 2022s now. When I talked to him the other day, he's on the. I think did I put him on the video, or did I just put the exhaust so you could hear the pipe? Actually, it wasn't bad. I couldn't believe that Indian bike. If you watch the last video, when they revved it up, that had Rush pipes on it and Rush exhaust on it. I couldn't believe how good that sounded. It didn't sound like a Harley, but it sounded definitely not like an Indian. I was very impressed with the way it sounded. I was like, holy crap, it doesn't even sound like an Indian. Go lay down.
You know, we were. Somebody want to know how old Charlie was. He'll be 11 years old on October 3rd, and he ate, so I don't know. He might need to go outside, and so they want to know if he's going to travel with us next year.
No.
If we go to Florida, probably.
I don't know.
It's because Sam will not be happy if you don't bring him.
I don't know where we're staying.
And he probably won't be going.
Definitely won't be going to Sturgis if we do. Probably wouldn't go with us to Sturgis. The bad thing about is when we take Charlie with us camping is we're very limited that we always have to come back at night. And there's times where we could have stayed out longer, done more stuff. So that's where the part that really makes it tough.
My excuse. We gotta get home and feed the dog.
And so you gotta let him out and all that stuff. So it was kind of a pain this year for that, to where you always got like last year we could have gone to, we were gonna go into Georgia. It was 200-mile ride up, 200 miles back, and to go to a small rally that was going on, a weekend rally. And we thought about it. Well, it ended up being more like 300 miles each way. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to ride that far, videotape, get back on the bike and ride back and be back by 5 or 6 o'clock. There just isn't, that's just too much to do in one day. So we ended up not going because of Charlie. She goes, well, maybe we get a motel. Well, there was no motels around there that you could book anyway. So it didn't work out. So that's a problem we have. Just like this year, we could have rode out to Brian Clockworks, had a big party on Thursday night before the pre-rally. The only way I could have done it would have been to go out and then, I don't know, we would have gone ahead and go out and come back on the same day because we had the rally started already for the Buffalo chip. We like to be there with opening day to film what's going on.
It's real Jack Daniels, but it's just a prop for the video because this is what one of our subscribers got us, Jerry and Jill.
And so we did this because I bought a barrel.
Jack Daniels barrel.
Yep. So we bought the Jack Daniels barrel, and the idea was to, we wanted to show that one of our subscribers got this fine whiskey for us that we haven't tried out yet. And then also I always pick up, this is actually from last year, Jesse James from Jackal. Jesse, he signed the bottle and all that. I actually got a bottle of moonshine that Michael Ballard signed, but it's more Jesse's better to sign. But yeah, this year we didn't do any of that. I don't know if they even did any signs or nothing. Just this year for us was just kind of weird again. It was just, I don't know. I think it was because we did the three things. We did the Legends ride, and then we did the meet and greet. That was all day event. We did Topless Tuesday. That was an all day event. Even though we weren't out there all day, it still took the majority of the day. And I got back to edit it so I could get a video out right away. That was a whole day. Wednesday was out to see Hewlett, and we took the ride and did all that. That was a whole day. So we ended up only really having Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of the actual rally. Really only got Thursday and Friday.
We got to meet so many of you guys too, which occupied a lot of our time, which we're not complaining because we love meeting you guys. So a couple years ago when we went, we didn't have that aspect as a part of our mission.
Well, I just think
guys
doing all those things just takes away from what you're doing. So that's why I said, I don't know.
They got a fat boy low. Good whoop does. That's what they want to put that seat on. So I don't know if it'll fit on that one, will it?
I don't think so.
It would have fit on my street glide, but I don't know if it'll fit on a fat boy. You just have to check on the website and see. Now the chair's hurting your back too. There's Ralph with the bulldog. Big rain coming your way. Better buckle up, buttercups. Yep. We were at the meet and greet and no issues. Yeah, I know. That's what somebody had said. G. Rathbum. I don't know if I say that right or not, but they had all had issues with COVID. And I don't know if it was right before, right after, or right during. I don't know.
And then there were some people that I guess watched his video where he was talking about it. He didn't. We think we had the COVID too, but way before you guys ever got here, around the 4th of July.
4th of July.
But we don't
I think it
know
was
because we
bad
never
head
got
cold.
tested, but we thought it was just a bad head cold, and that was it. But I mean, it did knock us out for a couple days, and then then as the rally started going, other people got that. We stayed in the trailer for those 2 days. Like I say, it was way before rally time, so we were able to stay
Even
around the
before
4th of
we did
July.
any
We
of our
didn't really do
rides.
anything till after that, and then so
Jerry, the ones that gave us the whiskey, Jerry and Jill said if we go through Tennessee on our way to Florida, they'll watch Charlie for us.
I don't think we go through Tennessee. We go through Texas.
Yeah, because it's February, so we try to stay as far south as we can. Although we did run into snow
Yes, we
and
have.
that ice storm in
Yes.
Texas 2 years ago.
So I don't know what we'll do. We may stay longer in Florida once we're down there because we do have a campground that we can stay down there and we see our friend and stuff. But we're not at this moment. We might go see Leesburg and see what they've got going on if we're still down there during that time. And also, but I don't think Panama City, I don't think we'll be seeing anything there.
They want to know if there's a stalker out there in our driveway. Somebody sitting out there. No, that's just the truckster. There's Pamoto. He's on. I'm not flipped over. Don't flip over. I know these stupid chairs. I knew I wouldn't be.
Well, these are bar chairs that are in the other building on the side of the house here. And this is the other garage. And so we just don't know. I don't know. I lost my thought.
About
in your chair.
I don't know.
So
bring my.
So that's some of the things we want to start talking about too with these Saturdays and stuff is like what people are thinking about for 2023, and just, that was the other thing we were going to talk about. I don't know if Fender Bunny came on.
Yeah, she's on.
Oh, so they brought up
Fender Kitten.
Well, Fender Bunny, Fender Kitty. Fender Bunny's, I guess, the YouTuber. Person. Kitten, whatever.
It's Sean and Rick, and they're both on, yes.
So in their issue, they had a question, which this was all over the internet anyway about a lot of other things. And are you someone that used to go to One Eye Jack's all the time, and this year you decided not to go because they raised their prices so high? I think bottles of beer or cans of beer were $9 to $10, and I think the mixed drinks were $12. Am I right? $12 was for mixed drinks, not for beer. But yes, prices are higher anywhere you go. And a lot of people complained about that. Hey, I went over to that stand and they charged me $68 for 2 hot dogs and 2 beers. Okay. And the prices weren't listed.
That's cool.
So if I stood there and I ordered from them, hey, I want a couple of hot, first of all, I would have asked them how much it was. Because the first thing you ever learn in anything in life, if the prices aren't listed, you're afraid to ask the price.
If the prices aren't listed, that's what we said. If the price isn't listed, we can't afford it.
Yeah.
just walk
so
that's
a general rule. So, but I mean, if I would have been there, 2 hot dogs and 2 beers, and it was $68. When that girl, guy, whoever it is, says it's $68 for that, I'd say you can keep it. I'm going down the street. Because you could have went to the Knuckle, or you could have went to Loud American. You could have went over to the little Johnny's place across from there. He was pretty reasonable on his prices. You could have gone to Uncle Louie's and ate. So there's a lot of places there. But you got to realize that these vendors, and that's what some people are saying. The city needs to do something about price gouging.
It's a free country. We live in America.
Young drugs, they even say something stupid like that. Because nobody's going to, the city's not going to tell you how much. If I want to go there and sell motorcycles for $1 million, the city has no right to tell me I can't do it. If I want to line them up like that, what's the guy who's selling motorcycles? The green building on Junction? Rumble. So Rumble. Let's say they decided they wanted to sell bikes for $1 million over there. Every bike was $1 million. Do you think the city has a right to tell them not to? Vice versa. If they wanted to sell the bikes for $100 each, city can't tell them that they're underselling them. So the city has no authority on what people charge for their stuff. But you as a consumer have a right to say, I ain't buying from them. I'm not spending my money there. If you don't spend your money, they're either going to lower the price next time or they ain't coming back because they didn't sell anything. But if you still gave them the $68 for 2 hot dogs and a soda, they're laughing at you all the way down the street while you're complaining about it. You gave them the money. So if you don't like, which I think what they were complaining about One Eye Jacks, they didn't go back after they got charged that much. They said, no, forget it. And they wondered how many other people didn't go there. We also heard that the full throttle, what you got to know now is the full throttle's people that are serving food is the same people selling it out on the street in town in Sturgis. Because the full throttle, full throttle doesn't bring in a lot of the vendors like they did before. They used to have, what's his name?
Oh, Fajita Mike.
Yeah, he's not there anymore. There's nobody there independent anymore other than his taco truck. Michael Ballard bought the taco truck. It sits out there year round. And anytime they got an event, they open the taco truck up. So that's probably his people working that, I'm assuming. I don't know. But other than that, that's it. So those are the same. So if you thought the food was too expensive,
I don't know if I needed that taco truck
out there at the full throttle, and you didn't like the prices, it's the same people downtown selling at that same price. Now you got to look at now, which is just like where we're at here. These people around us right now, in this little bitty hick town that we live in.
15 for the mixed drink.
Okay, it was $12 for the beers, and
I don't know.
that was crazy. But I did see beers all pre-rally did not. Prices were cheaper during pre-rally. So just FYI for next year. Pre-rally, they even had bigger menus before the rally started.
Oh yeah.
Before Friday started, when we did our live.
And Sunday.
No, because the rally started on Friday.
Maybe we did one Thursday.
Must have been one Thursday. Because they were getting ready to switch out the menu. A lot of the things that they had
on their regular menu were
out.
Was
it Mike or Neil was eating with us and he couldn't.
I think it was Mike, yeah. Because there was no tater tots, there was no coleslaw, there was no.
And they said they were
just trying to run out of everything because
they were going to the other menu.
They were going to the other menu and they didn't want to keep all that stuff and have to throw it away. So they just sold it until they sold out, and then sorry, that isn't available right now. So yeah, you got there earlier. They're going to won't be eating from vendors, local only.
And just FYI,
high everywhere.
Other than, is it Joey? Across from the Johnny. So other than Johnny across the street from the museum, that is the only person I eat off the street off of. So take it from that. I'm not even a big truck guy. When all these trucks come around and stuff.
Food trucks?
Yeah, I'm not a big food truck guy either because just for the same reason, you don't know where that food. If you got sick from that tomorrow, they're gone. So.
Well, like at Michael Ballard's that day, I didn't go out to the live when he went to the pre-rally out there in Rapid City. My stomach was messed up because I think they were giving away little samples of their nacho stuff. And I just think it was probably not that it made me sick. I think that it was jalapenos in there and they didn't agree with my stomach. My stomach just hurt really bad. Doesn't have any ill repercussions other than a really bad tummy ache.
But I mean, it's like I said, we ate at Uncle Louis several times. I don't know, 4 or 5 times we ate at Uncle Louis.
They said that one-eyed Jack was slower than they've ever seen before.
And but they got all new people working there. A lot of the old people came back to work. Ended up being the guy that used to own the place. Had a heart attack on that Thursday of the rally, or a stroke, either one. I don't remember exactly what it said. So, because somebody else told us they thought maybe he'll end up with a back because the guy that's running that owns One-Eyed Jack's now has no experience in the bar business.
He's a businessman, but
yeah,
not.
He owns a t-shirt company. He makes t-shirts down in Daytona. He's from Turkey, and I don't know how long he's been in the United States. I'm assuming he's a citizen, but I mean I don't know. I didn't ask when I met him. Seemed like an all right guy, but I mean it's just somebody we talked to. I don't know any good, bad, or ugly about him. He's just a guy I talked to, and he let us do the interviews with the girls there. But they brought a bunch of people back that had been fired by the previous owner to come back and help run the bar this year. Which kind of one of the people that actually used to be the manager of the bar, which went someplace else this year. That's what she said. Why would you bring people back that you had fired? Wasn't there a reason you fired them? And I'm like, yeah, good thought. Good point. So I don't know.
Ryan says 2 dogs and 2 beers, $68. He says, I need to go to Sturgis and set up a hot dog stand.
There you go. And that guy should have went to the guy out there at the Beaver Bar. We didn't go see him. His hot dogs aren't that bad. I think $5 or $6.
Oh, yeah.
He's wanted to the other Beaver Bar. He got written up down in Myrtle Beach. They wrote him up, put him on the news because he sold more hot dogs than wiener schnitzel or something did. Carter had a wiener.
Yeah, no. Carter's got pills. That's what my mom always said. More than
I don't know who Carter's.
I don't know. I think a long time ago it was whoever made liver pills made There was by Carter's liver pills.
I didn't know you had the liver pills.
Something my mom always used to say.
Some hillbilly nonsense.
So my dad always called her. Scott says they've been at Kathmandu for 12 years and they've been very accommodating. Yeah, so G. Retham said that he stayed at Kathmandu too, and Mike would let his dog Hank out. If he said he couldn't get back soon, he'd tell him to go over there and let him out. So I'm sure Mike would have did that for us too. He helped us out a couple different times. He did a meet and greet for us and set that all up, made the banners and everything. We need help getting this barrel back, and he took us into town and got the barrel, loaded it up, and did all that. So he helped us out quite a bit. So Mike is an awesome guy.
He's waiting for us to tell him if we're coming back next year. And like I say, we're still negotiating.
He's listening.
We're still negotiating with several different campgrounds because we just don't. I don't know what we want to do.
Chris Perkins says Panama City is their favorite rally.
I like Panama City, but it just once again we have to pay for the campground, and that's where with us. We just didn't. I don't even want to know what I made this year. So far, not real good. I don't think compared to what we did last year. At this time, I'm a few $1,000s behind. Plus, gas is a lot higher this year. So this year, I thought we'd be it. We would do. No idea what we look for is we just want to break even for our expenses. We're not trying to make $1 million here, but we are trying to make it.
We just need enough money to do.
But we've spent a lot of our living on money to do these rallies we've done the last 2 years. So this year I thought would be better because we got a place now to stay in Daytona. That's free. We don't have anything we had to pay there. We went to Laconia this year. That was free to stay there.
Thanks, Rod.
We have Sturgis now. We have campgrounds fighting over us for free. So we don't have any expense with that anymore. So that's all good. So yeah, it just depends what you want to do. We're looking at a lot of different things. We're looking for, well, we thought we were going to get a big sponsor, and the guy acted like he had talked to us once before, and we kind of never met up with him. And then somebody else approached us, one of the bar owners, and said, hey, I want to get you with this guy because I think you can get a big sponsorship with him. I said, well, we've already met him. Oh, okay, let's all sit down and get this straightened out. Well, it never happened.
Well, the rally is so busy for everybody,
so I don't know. We're going to send the guy some information. If we get something, that might change a lot of things. But at this point, we're not even sure if we'll do Myrtle Beach this year. We're definitely probably going to do Daytona. But after that, I don't know what we're doing. We'll have to see how all this with the garage and stuff goes. Hey, I might get like the Monkey Man here and put videos out of his garage and get a ton of people watching me. I don't know. I know a lot of you ask about seeing more install videos and stuff like that. And, we get Art to retire.
The Pizza Ranch does raise their prices too.
Yeah, Pizza Ranch raised it about
just a couple bucks.
I think it was 12 to 18.
Oh well, I don't know, $6, I guess. Anyway, but they do have good fried chicken. Right, my dad used to say that. Like Carter's got liver pills.
Well, you could go to like the Pizza Ranch if you waited. You want to go around lunchtime, you want to go around dinner time. You really don't want to go in the middle of the day.
Yeah, if you go like between 2 and 4.
They don't bring out the food as fresh as they do, prime time.
Slim pickings, and it's old usually.
Yeah. So if you pick the prime time, but I mean, you can wait till like 4 o'clock or something, go in there and eat, and then just pig out, and you only ate once a day, and $20. But I mean, hey, paid $68 for a freaking hot dog.
Do they do that during the rally though? It says Sturgis Senior Center serves free lunch every day because we went to that 1 year, and it was still $7-something, but they wanted you to join the club. Here's all of our information. You join the club.
But they didn't do it during the rally.
Yeah, I don't think they do it because there's a chip right there in front.
We went there before
last year because it was soup and dessert or something.
Yeah.
You get a sandwich, soup, and dessert. I'm like, soup? So we went, and yeah, it was still like, it wasn't expensive, $7.50, and you got a sandwich, chips, soup, and a dessert. But they wanted you to join their club. Oh, you want to join our club? No, we just wanted the soup and dessert. Anyway, but yeah, I don't think they do that during the rally. I don't think.
Which I don't even know if there was that many breakfast places. I don't think the Lutheran church did anything. I didn't really see a sign out there.
Sign. I saw the sign.
And then the other church that's on the other side of the highway, over by the big RV park.
It was a church over there too. I think that's a Lutheran church too. I don't know.
So we
called that one last year and they never called back. Yeah. So some Eddie Diesel says it looks his count says they showed 5,902,000 people.
500,000?
Yes, almost 600,000 people this year.
Well, see, I think what they do, like the county did, is they count how many people that runs over the rubber bands every day. So they're getting 50 to 60,000, 70,000 people running over these rubber bands. You can't say that's the same people every day coming in. Or I can say they are the same people coming in every day. And also, people are traveling that never stop in Sturgis. You know, that highway's really busy out there. Not everybody that's driving down that 90 is stopping off to come to Sturgis. So when they come up with these numbers, I would say they'd be lucky if there was 100,000 people there this year.
That Ralph says that the Senior Sturgis Center also has an Olympic-sized pool, so it must not have been the place we stopped.
In Sturgis? It's right there, right across the street from the Knuckle, on the side street there. That's where the senior center is. Unless they got one in the basement.
They might, unless, I don't know, they might have another senior center that we don't know about. But the one we went to.
Oh, she's talking about that's a community center across the road. That's not the senior center. Seniors do stuff in there.
It says Sturgis Community Center, not the
that has a pool. And there's a bunch of guys we know, you can pay for that and you can go swimming all week long. Some of the guys we know that are vendors, they go in there every morning and work out.
Lon wants to know the dates for the pre-rally next year. So it'll probably be the weekend before. So I don't know what phone I need to look in. I don't know if I got the dates in for next year already or not.
Google it. It always says pre-rally. What's Sturgis Rally for 2023?
So it'll start on the 4th. So pre-rally will be is it Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday.
July 29th.
So July 29th would be pre-rally starting at the dealership. Saturday and Sunday is their pre-rally day, they call it. Now the fun thing, the one thing that we found out from some of these campgrounds is they don't open for pre-rally. Even Mike's really not open at Kathmandu. Now he let them all come in, which he should just open up and start charging people to come in. Glencoe doesn't really have a pre-rally, but if you're coming in, they'll let you come in too. I don't know if electric and water is turned on or not, but we just went to that, what's that other place called?
Lamphere.
They don't do pre-rally.
Lamphere.
They don't want to do pre-rally.
And they tell people not to come for pre-rally.
Yeah, and which is fine, whatever. I always say, which my neighbor across the street here, that's what he said. He's thinking he might like to come Wednesday to Wednesday, and that's a good time to come. A few days before, a few days after. There's no reason to really stay the whole week of the actual rally. It starts winding down, and it always does that. It winds down Friday and Saturday. They always call it local day, and that's kind of what it is. And most people head out. It's like a buffalo chip. I said, you guys should start thinking about doing a concert Wednesday or Thursday before the rally starts. You probably, which they did. They didn't have.
Pre-rally seems to be more and more
popular.
Yes.
And it's which some people say, it's got to do with like the Monkey Man. His wife had to go home on Tuesday because their child had to go to school on Wednesday. So, that kind of sucks to where his wife doesn't, I think she had to leave last year like that. She didn't get to stay. Well, he should come pre-rally too, but he just kind of comes in right at the rally time. Well, this year he went to St. Louis, I guess, spent time with his family.
That's where it's at.
But
the Michael Ballard Brewery in Colorado is in Estes Park. Somebody want to know if we're going to go to Four Corners in October.
It's Labor Day weekend. When I looked at it just a while ago, they were talking about it was Labor Day weekend.
No, that is October. Let me see. Are you going, or have you been to the Four Corners Motorcycle Rally? Oh, in Durango. They didn't say a date, a time.
I think it's Labor Day weekend, and we've already got the family comes out here. The kids all come out here to the house, and we haven't seen them all year, so they want to come out over Labor Day. So that's when I seen it was going to be. What I hear is it's just one big bar, and that's all it is. We've had some friends from around here go to it, and they said it sucked last year, and somebody else went the year before and said it sucked then too.
They said the best freebie that he got, Phil, when we went on a ride in Hewlett in the senior center there, they gave out free hot cookies and iced tea. They had iced tea there and drinks, lemonade, water. Yeah, that was the place to go.
Yeah.
And even it was air conditioned, and you could have went and got your food down there at the Ham Jam and came down there and ate it in the air conditioning.
Plus air conditioned bathrooms.
Yeah, with real toilets, flushable toilets. Yeah.
They asked for donation.
Yep.
They said they were going to have food, but they were short staffed but yeah, a lot of times
There were a couple of those little ladies. We did an interview with them. I don't know if you put that up yet or not either.
I didn't see it.
They they were actually there for the first ham jam, and they said it was a total disaster because the guy didn't know really how to roast a pig, and everybody was there waiting for lunch, and the pig really wasn't done until like late in the evening, and half the people left, and there was only 100 people to start with. And anyway, she said it was quite the experience, but they've been back to everyone since then.
And it is. We had a lady a couple of years ago when we were out there in 2020 and sat down and talked to us and stuff. And she'd been there. She lived in town her whole life. She was in her 80s.
There are a lot of hot women in Sturgis.
Is there a lot of hot women?
That's
a lot of hot, sweaty women. Oh, kick the bucket.
Uh-oh. Yeah, there was a lot of hot women in Sturgis this year because it was 105 freaking degrees.
Somebody put on there the other day it was 109. It was never 109 that I seen in Sturgis.
Maybe it was one that felt like,
yeah,
I don't know. Community, not senior. Yeah, I figured that out. Sorry, Ralph. It's just the price of the bike wash seemed a little bit out of line. It was like that last year. They were only like 20 or 25 bucks to wash the bike, and then they expect the tip
20
on top
bucks
of that.
on top of that. And it's like, no, you better off go in there and let Larry at Bug Slide, his little girl, to clean it and give her 20 bucks and be glad.
Yeah.
And
because
but some of the other ones, I don't know if the ones at the Buffalo Chip, I don't. Charlie, go lay down.
Safe trips home.
I don't know if the Buffalo Chip it had a price before, if you're just tipping the girls. I think you're just tipping the girls there too.
Well, the one guy went to get on his bike to leave, and the girl went up and she said, have you settled up with anybody? And he's like, no. And so she stood there like with her hand out until he took some money.
You got to give them something. You got to give them
well, I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it was just tips, but I think I guess, I don't know if he wasn't thinking. Because
I know that there's a guy there that supplies all the cleaning supplies for him, and he's trying to sell that there. But I don't know. Because me and Art used to always get our bike cleaned out. We'd go through the car wash, the self-wash, and the girls would dry it outside, which I didn't see them this year doing that.
Yeah, that was
and we would tip those girls. We would wash the bike ourselves because we know how we want it cleaned, and then we just let them girls dry it off, and you gave them $10 or whatever for drying it off. And that's what we did for years. Almost every year we went out there, that's the only people we had. Now Art likes to watch pays the girls. Sometimes he'll pay a girl 2 or 3 girls in 3 different places during the day to get his bike cleaned. And yeah. But that's like somebody else was saying that part of having a girl wash your bike. First of all, they're not doing a very good job to start with, and the idea is just to have some girl in a skimpy bikini standing in front of you while she cleans your bike. And if you're not taking a picture with your phone, that's your fault.
Have you ever heard if anyone was stupid enough to pet a fluffy cow in Custer?
Not this year.
I didn't hear anything. No, I didn't hear of any incidents.
Well, there's always the problem with that is they look normal. You know, they look like something that would be a regular cow that you could walk up to. I don't just go up to normal cows and pet them either.
No.
You know, so
even horses. I mean, horses will, because they'll usually let you know if they want you to pet them or not. You know, you stick your hand out.
Bite it off.
Yeah, and then you always put your hand flat because if you put your fingers up, they'll think they're carrots and eat them. Anyway, I liked all the people and the rallies for me. So that was James and not LaDonna. I want to say Madonna, but it's not LaDonna. I think it is.
And she was pretty good. And a lot of people were saying that. Well, what do you think about the crowd? Do you think it was this? What do you think of that? You know, this is what has ruined the rally these last few years is because 2020 almost got canceled, and a lot of people came no matter what. It's kind of a protest for that. In 2021, a crap load of people came that were locked up that decided, screw you, we're coming anyway this year in 2021. So now we're getting back to, this is exactly about the crowd we had on the 74th. About the same. It is getting different because of this pre-rally thing. It used to be people only came for the rally. It was almost unheard of to come a couple days before. Like when we came on, Kevin do it. Well, I guess that was the other guy that went it then. When we went the first time to Kathmandu, we stayed Thursday to Thursday.
Yeah, I think.
So they had the pre-rally days there, but I don't know what day the pre-rally started there. But they never had, the dealership never did Saturday and Sunday.
No.
So it was kind of like you got there early, and for a couple of days, there really wasn't much going on. You know, a couple of bars opened up downtown. There wasn't any bands or anything. And you just kind of got there early to get, which we did. We did our rides. We got in there and got our rides all done. And then that way, when the rally started, you know, we could see we weren't with Art. Art doesn't drink, and we're not big bar people. We probably, I think we went to the Knuckle a few times to eat. The Iron, well, back then it wasn't the Iron Horse. It was
Easy Rider.
Easy Rider. We never had been in there before. One Eye Jack's had never been in there. Actually, I don't think I've ever been in Loud America until last year when we did the steak bites.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah,
2020.
2 years ago. So yeah, so a lot of Knuckle was really the only other bar we had really done downtown.
I wouldn't know that.
What?
The girls do a crappy bike wash, and he says, "Do the women put out in Sturgis?" I said, "I would think not." Big whoop.
But as likely as the girls around your neighborhood
can pay to watch me. There you go.
Well, they did that once. We had somewhere, I don't know if it was in LA or Las Vegas or something. The guy was telling me that they had a Bikini bike wash around the back of the building.
And you couldn't see it.
Yeah, it was a fireman in G-strings.
Speedos.
And they were washing cars. And so, hey, you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah. It wasn't, they were in bikinis.
Yeah. So other than going like to the Buffalo Chip to where those girls are actually in the competition, you're getting more of girls that are trying to look good. Some of these other bike wars, you go to it, I don't know, I didn't really look at, well, even those girls weren't that hot. The girls that were at the casino out there in Deadwood when we first came in, the one girl was kind of cute, but the other two were like, I'd have passed on. So one of them wasn't too bad, the other two could care less. The other two early one, well, one girl was a little friendly when you walked out. This third girl didn't even look at you. So I was like, well, screw you too. And then the other girls, the girls that were over at the Iron Horse, which that was really weird because the people that were at the Iron Horse were the people that used to be across the street.
And they said that they didn't think they were going to open. But then there was a bike wash over there.
So I don't know if that was a Fat Tony or whatever was doing that one too. Or Big Tony, Fat Tony. It's all the same thing, isn't it? He's Italian. My Tony. Where's my Tony? And so yeah.
You can bring your own food and cook it. We'll do the same.
We just don't have time to ever do that. We usually when we go camping, we do cook a couple times. I used to cook breakfast all the time, and now we don't eat breakfast. So, but see, we're out. Once we get out, we're gone by.
You're a senior woman bike wash.
Might find one.
Yeah, I don't know.
Check with the local church.
They might have one. Well, it was funny. The bar they have a little Budweiser bar that's kind of like a portable bar, I guess, and it opens all up. It looks like one of those you could pedal and drive it around, but it's not. At the dealership, and when we went there the first night, I thought, oh, there's a bar. I'm going to run over there and talk to the girls. Well, they were all
over 60, huh?
Yeah, so I didn't talk to them, but they just had regular old T-shirts on and jeans.
She would complain to me what back there in Myrtle Beach there was a place called it was a hog pen or hog something.
Rat's hole.
Rat's hole. Them girls looked like they were in the rat's hole.
Well.
And she filmed them like,
well, no,
they were those girls on.
They were trying. These girls weren't even trying. They were just T-shirts and jeans. They were just there to serve drinks, and that was it. I don't even think they were there to try to get any tips. Are most of the campgrounds bigger and open year-round?
No.
Thanks for all you do for those of us that couldn't make it.
The only campground open year-round, because it snows in Sturgis, is Kickstands. They are open all year round. They're the only one. Now, there is some campgrounds that are open during the summer.
They're like open 5 months.
Yeah, it's like Days End, Chris's Campground and Spearfish, Sturgis RV Park, they're open.
But most of the other ones.
You might try, No Name's probably open a little bit longer. I doubt if Susie's is, but No Name's, I think we stayed there before.
We went there before the rally.
Yeah, before and after we've stayed there. That's about it. Everything else locks up. Actually, we found out this year, pretty much by Tuesday at the end of the rally, you need to get the hell out of your campground. Most of these places, they really want you gone by Sunday, and Monday's the least. And like I say, somebody I seen on the internet was at Pappy Hoyle and their truck broke down. And Pappy Hoyle said, we'd really like you to get out of here Tuesday, but they won't kick them out. They were trying to get somebody to pull their trailer with the fifth wheel, pull it over, take their trailer over to the dealership, wherever they were getting a GM dealership, I guess, and drop it off. And the dealership said they could boondock in the parking lot. But I don't know if that ever happened or not. I just seen it on our big group page.
Yeah. So a couple of people are having to sign off. How much money did you make at YN's Lemonade? Oh, you know what? We should have called and asked him that.
I don't know if he's wanting. He's not very happy. He didn't even.
I guess they didn't do
I
what
guess
they
he
did
made
last
about
year.
50% of what he did, because last year I think he gave $32,000 to the church or to the
St. Jude's.
and he only given 17,000 this year. So that's about half of what he made last year. Now he does, but some people get upset about that. There's a guy that was been bad mouthing him, and they put an assist against him. You know, he's just a kid,
I know.
And I think we've been covering him for 3 years. We covered him back in 2020, and I made a statement back then that he keeps some of the money. He does some for his college fund and stuff like that, and so it's not 100%.
Because when we went at first we had thought it was all for St. Jude's.
Yeah.
And then when I interviewed him, he said, no, you know, so much goes to St. Jude's, so much goes to my college fund, and so much he gets to spend. So
it's a business.
Yes.
So
and that's what we wanted to let people know that that's what it was, which is great that he does that.
Yeah,
and like I said,
there's no wrong with that kid having a business.
No, he's quite the little entrepreneur, and
it's a good thing he does. And there's a bunch of other little
kid.
kids now that have, but you got to get a permit to sell lemonade or give it away and all this. So even though people giving you a donation, it's still a business. And so there's a lot of legal things, and there's a lot of other kids that are doing it. And somebody was on the internet and said, well, this kid downtown says he's giving all the money to St. Jude's. How do you know? You don't know. You don't know. You have no idea if the kid's giving any money away because you don't see him. You know, Wyatt does. He's got enough stuff now to where Wyatt will go down and they'll turn the check over and all that. So it's, you know, he's giving that, but you really have no idea how much money these kids are drawing in anyway. You know, the kids downtown could have sold $5,000 worth of lemonade, and he writes a check for $1,000. You just assume and you believe what they tell you. At least Wyatt's telling you, hey, I'm keeping so much for my college, I'm spending some of it, and the other half all goes to St. Jude's. So, hey, he's honest. He's telling you the way it is. So, hey, if you don't like that, then don't give to him. But
so, Ryan, if you're not too far away from Four Corners, because you said that's kind of close to you, it probably wouldn't hurt to go down there and check it out. To me, it sounds like it's more like if you've ever been to Arizona Bike Week, a lot of people talk about Cave Creek, and that's where they go, and that's the hot spot, and that's all the. Well, he said he wants to know any other rallies you would suggest close to him. Sturgis is too far to go.
Yeah.
So I thought if he wanted to go, or not Sturgis, that Daytona is too far to go.
Well, you can go to Arkansas. There's a good one.
Oh, Bike Booth and Barbecue.
Yep, there's another one there. Where is he at? What state is he in?
I'm assuming. I live in Colorado. Besides Sturgis, is there any bike rally that you suggest that's close to me? Daytona's too far. Yeah, you might try Bike Booth and Barbecue. I don't know how far that away is from you.
It's Arkansas.
But I mean, it's nice riding, and
you can also
friendly.
go down. It's not much of a rally. In Oklahoma, Adam Sandoval does his thing. It's all bikers that go to it, but it's not really. They got a few vendors, but I mean, it's not like no big truck. What do you?
Thunder in the Rockies Labor Day weekend. Fender Kitten said.
Yeah, and they've also got the ones up in Montana. What's that one? That's the big one they have up in Montana.
Red Rock.
Yeah, Red Rock. There, that's one that people tell us about.
Red Lodge, something.
Yeah,
Red something. That
they have a rally there. We've never done any of those. So
no.
I always say what sucks is the ones on the West Coast sucks. Arizona Bike Week sucks. This guy that's trying to get ours going,
Loveland.
That's not too far away. It's Laughlin, Nevada. It's actually on the Bullhead City side. It's actually right where we're at here now. We might, actually, we probably won't be able to make it back for that time because it's the same. Because Daytona will be first.
Yeah.
To be back here for Larry's thing.
Well, if we do all of our running in North.
Yeah, but we're still going to go to Myrtle Beach. We just still do Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach is after all of that.
Oh yeah.
So you wouldn't. One way you do it, we'd have to fly back to do it. So I don't know. So we don't know what's going on for next year. Daytona for sure, and go from there. But there's the rally here he has. It's called the Bullhead City River Run, and it's trying to take off where Laughlin left off at, and it could eventually. It's hours. What you got to look at for motorcycle rallies. What are you looking to do? You know, if you want to go like Four Corners, it's a drinking rally, I think. That's pretty much what it is. It's not any great riding up in the Four Corners. We've been up there. There's nothing exciting up there. Actually, where the real Four Corners is Indian property, and it's really not the real Four Corners, but they say it is. And you pay to get in there. But that Durango bar, I didn't know what it was, and that's kind of all it is, I guess. It's one big bar that has a party, and that's kind of what's happening up in California. If you go to Hollister, the rally they have up there now is just like one big bar, still has a party up there, and somebody has a lot, they put stuff on. But what are you looking for? Are you looking for a place just to go riding with a bunch of guys and stuff like that? Are you looking for vendors? You want to have some work done. Well, there's nothing like Sturgis. The next closest thing is Daytona. Those are the only two rallies in the United States that have all the big trucks show up.
The big vendors.
Yes. So that's the only two exceptions there is to the rule. Now there's other rallies that have vendors, but not as many, like Panama City, Galveston, which is in Texas, Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. There's no big trucks there, but there's a lot of all of our small vendors that are there. Fair and Exchange, All About Customs, most of all the little trucks, but Rick Rack he hasn't announced it yet, but they're looking like they're going to be doing more rallies next year, maybe with a smaller truck. Don't have any more details than that. It's something he's working on, and we'll find out. He's going to go live with us soon as he gets it all ironed out and figure out where he's going, to let him know, let us know, and let you guys know about his new truck and where it's going to go and all that good stuff. So that's what you got to know. Are you looking just to go right? Sometimes you can just go to some of these weekend things where dealerships have it. A lot of these dealers have a Friday, Saturday, and a Sunday party, and it's like a rally, a small rally.
I don't know if they still have the Love Ride in California. It's like, nope.
No, it ended a long time ago. Yeah, it ended a long time ago.
So Bob and Sam looking to ride vendors and meet other riders. If I want to get wasted, I can do that anywhere.
That's what I always look at. Especially if you're out someplace like that and you're on your bike, you shouldn't be drinking anyway. But so I don't know if I was like here in Arizona here, if I was going to go, because I don't know. Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue is another one that I really would like to do again. But they moved it later this year. It's in October, I think, and it's tough. You're getting into Arkansas in October, it could snow. So, and that's a bad thing when you're traveling on your bike, or even if you're bringing a trailer out with you.
Especially those roads in where that's at. Yeah. It's very
curvy.
I don't know.
But I mean, have you been to Reno? Have you gone to, was it Hot August Nights?
No, it's Street Vibrations.
Street Vibrations. That's not a bad rally.
They say fall is better than spring.
Yeah, so we've done the spring and we've done the fall. Spring, me and Art did it years ago, like
the fall?
12 or 15 years ago. I think it was a spring rally. That was a big one.
That was one when I went to Sue's and you went up there.
But it was one of the bigger ones they had.
Anyway.
And the vendors kind of suck there too. See, the problem is all the big vendors are on the East Coast. That's what's going on. Daytona starts the season out. That is the first rally that all the big trucks are at. After that, they go over to Panama City. Okay, so now we're into, when's Panama City? That's
the end of April.
End of April. Okay, so now anything that's going to be happening in California or on the East Coast, no big trucks are coming out because they're already down there in Panama City. Now, Leesburg really doesn't have any big trucks there either. But then the next one they're looking at is they're heading to Myrtle Beach. So that's in
South Carolina.
No, I know, but what time of year is it?
Oh, that's the first weekend in May. Well, it's 10-day rally, so I think it starts, yeah.
So then you have other rallies. You have then a lot of the other ones here are later in the year. Like they got Ocean City is going to be happening here soon. We don't do Ocean City because it's stupid for us to drive 2,000 miles, turn around, and drive 2,000 miles back. Now we would have done Las Vegas here. East Coast rallies suck. That's the bad thing about it. West Coast rally. West Coast rallies suck. They want to charge you to see the vendors and the people down there selling mattresses and bracelets and whatever, jujubes, whatever they're selling. And so it is tough. And just like California, there's probably more motorcycles in California than probably half the United States has. Because you could ride year round. So I don't know. They got another one up in California. I don't know if they still do that one or not. They used to do the Redwood ride. That was one me and Art had talked about years ago, but we never went to it. But once again, there's no big vendors going to be there, which is kind of sad because there's a lot of big stuff. Cobra is down here in California. There's a whole bunch of vendors, manufacturers are down here in California. And it's even Rockford Crossgate is their headquarters is in Phoenix here. So why they don't want to do the East-West Coast stuff, I don't know. But yeah, that's what kind of sucks. I don't know. I think what's sad about all this is I think we're going to see more and more rallies go down the tubes. And, a lot of people think maybe that's what was happening in Sturgis this year. I wouldn't say that. I'd wait till the 80th. And no, the 85th. When the 85th comes and there's nobody there hardly, then yes, rallies are over and it's done. Give up on them. You've missed your chance. But
well, I think we got in this a little too late too, because when we go to places, when we go to Daytona and when we go to Myrtle Beach, they're like, oh, you guys should have seen this like 10 years ago. You guys missed it. It was really cool. It was really big. It was really this. Same way with Bikes, Booze, and Barbecue. When they said they had it down in Fayetteville, they were like, oh my gosh, it was the best. Some people said, man, we wish you would have been here when it was back in the day. But I
don't buy any of that because you still got vendors are still there. They're, what I think it is people are younger. The people that are at most of these rallies are over 60 years old. That's the biggest crowd that's at these rallies. And so it's getting to be a dying breed, just like the motorcycles. The average guy can't afford $30,000 or $40,000 for a motorcycle. So they've pushed out all the older people now. They don't care if we buy a bike ever again or not. They're more interested in the millenniums to buy their next bike from. And which is what I said, this is going to kill the industry. You're going to see, I say Sturgis is 10 to 15 more years and we won't see motorcycle rallies anymore unless something drastically changes. And bringing in big name brand concerts and all this isn't going to get the millenniums to ride a motorcycle. Might get them to ride their car in there to go watch a concert. But why would I want to go? If I was a millennium and I'm 20 something years old, why do I want to ride to Sturgis, stand in a dirt field and watch Kid Rock or whoever they bring in? Why? I can go to Vegas. Maybe I can spend a little, it's going to cost me a little bit more. Not going to cost me that much more. $300 for a ticket. I'll have pretty good seats. Get a hotel room. I get to gamble. I get to stay clean. Why would they come to Sturgis?
Greg and Gwen's on. So I guess Ryan says, are you still going to do a get together in Sturgis next year where we can all stay together?
Yes, we are working on that now. So we got 2 campgrounds that are talking to us about multi-stay places where we could bring in, I don't know how many. The idea would be is once we get an okay from one of these campgrounds saying that they will save us 20 or 30 spots, you will have a deadline to book that. And we'll go from there. So we should know something, we hope, in the next couple of weeks. We should know before the middle of September.
There you go. Somebody said about a tent in one of the big venues for next year in Sturgis, coming from Southern California. So yeah, we'll if you wanted to stay with us, we should have a tent area designated. I don't know how much shade there's going to be there, but we'll see. Neil's on. Are you back in Alaska?
Yeah, I told you that.
I know, but I was just letting him let everybody else
know that he made it home.
Yeah, Neil made it home.
So it's pretty, like I say, I have no intentions in the next, we're definitely going all the way between now and the 85th. And at the 85th, we'll decide if we'll come back anymore. We like doing Sturgis. I really like it. Just like we've talked about here, maybe doing Sturgis year round. That may be the only rally we do other than what we start doing in the garage. One, it's a whole lot cheaper for me to stay here. And I can buy bikes. For what I'm spending for traveling, I could have bought probably 10 motorcycles this year. Not perfect brand new bikes, but bikes that could have got some work done on them, fixed them up, sold them, gave them away, give them to vets, whatever we would have decided to do with them. But I mean, that's the money I'm losing by doing what we do now, traveling all these rallies. And we've actually hit most of these rallies. I could actually, just like here, I don't need to go to Florida at all for the fall rallies, and we can sit here and tell you all the things you need to know about the fall rallies. I can tell you right now what you need to know about Daytona.
Somebody asked if we were going to Biketoberfest, and I said no.
It's just small rallies just don't bring the volume of views that we get. Now next year in Daytona, we're going to do it a little different because screw Daytona. Daytona doesn't want to talk to us. We're not going to waste a second on Daytona at all for anything that's going on. We're going to spend a lot of time with Ormond Beach because they're the ones that actually got the sheriff or the chief to talk to us, the police chief in town. We'll probably get some more legal people. We'll probably get with their Chamber of Commerce. You know, Shelley Rossmeyer was very helpful to us last year. We hope they have that same response from her this year when we go back. So yeah, I think Daytona this year, when we go back, will be 100 times better than what we've done last year. Last year was really good for us. That's what discouraged me, because when the first year, 2020, when we did the fall rallies first, and then we came back for the spring rallies in 2021. And that year, we didn't get going until we got to Myrtle Beach. So when we got to Myrtle Beach, views started coming. We got to Sturgis, and it just blew up again. We didn't get a lot of subscribers, but we got a lot of watchers, and worked out really well. So this year, that's what we thought. When I got to Daytona this year in the spring, it went crazy. You people were watching the videos, you were commenting, and it was like, holy crap, this is going to be a great year. We get to Leesburg, and it was like, kaboom, it stopped. Got to Panama City, boom, still nothing going on. Then we went over to Myrtle, and it started kicking up again. And that's when I said, okay, we'll go ahead, definitely come back to Myrtle Beach, because it's a 10-day rally. People want to know what's going on there in Myrtle Beach. Same thing. We don't spend any time with Myrtle talking to anybody there. But we do. We didn't try to talk to anybody in Murrells Inlet. I don't know what town that actually is. Is that actually a town, Murrells Inlet?
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe talk to somebody there next year, get some stuff going there. But we never try to talk to anybody in Myrtle Beach. We already knew that was a lost cause. But I had hopes for Daytona this year.
Somebody told us they knew. Maybe it was Steven. Steven said he knew some people, some police officers and stuff in, I don't know if it might have been Murrells Inlet, because
he's not on.
He was earlier. I don't know if he's still on. Are you still on, Steven? Wasn't it you that told us you knew some people in the law enforcement there, down there in Murrells Inlet?
Would they talk on camera?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if he could.
So it's a pretty good party.
And I was one of the youngest buyers there, and there were not many of me. When Terry bought his bike at Mecum, he said he was told at Mecum that he was one of the youngest buyers.
Well, because it's the same thing. That's one of the things I'm thinking about doing. And somebody else can beat me to it. Hey, if you can do it before I do it, I'm fine. Is talking to Mecum Auction about having a bike rally during their auction.
Because it doesn't look like Vegas is going to have one.
Yeah, I think Vegas might be done.
Same as Laughlin.
Yeah, and same police, same all that, to where they could have something, I don't know. But I just thought that's a lot of motorcycle people coming to there. You might be able to bring more people into the auction, just like that. Might bring some younger people into the auction, because if I had a motorcycle I wanted to sell and it's 10 years old, I'd take it to the Mecum auction. You probably make a hell of a lot more money than you can on the street. I can't believe some of that junk that's sold for high dollars. Some of the high bikes went for a lot more than I thought they'd go, but that's me. He's going on. Start talking. Answer questions.
He just gets up and leaves. So anyway, yeah, Neil's already booked for next year. He's going to stay at Score Station. There's the phone number if anybody is interested in staying where Neil stays. He kind of stays right off the 90. It's the 90, not the 95. 90. And it's about halfway between Rapid City and Sturgis. He gets a cabin there, and I think it's got electric and all kinds of stuff in it. Neil's more than happy to talk to you about it if anybody's interested. That's where he stays, where he stayed, I know, the last several years at least. So another YouTube earlier, and they said that they would never go to Sturgis again due to 3 reasons. It's way too expensive, it's way too crowded, and it's way too commercialized. I guess every place is what you make it. Just like he always says, when you go on vacation, you go to Disneyland or someplace like that, they gouge you too, getting in, with the prices of soda and food and everything, parking. So, like I said, you make it what you want. This year really was not that crowded.
Here it is. You go to Daytona, it's going to cost you money. During the rally, not during the rally. Okay, just like here in Laughlin, they used to charge you $500-600 for 3 nights to stay in a hotel room. It's freaking Laughlin. Rest of the time, it's $29 a night that you can stay. So anytime there's a bike rally, they're gouging you.
Yeah.
But it's just like if you went to Disneyland, or you go to Universal Studios, or you go to Miami, you go to San Francisco, you go to New York, you go anywhere for a vacation, go to Dollywood, wherever you go, Branson, Missouri, you go down there, you're going to pay more in that area for stuff than you would at home. So these people that always say it's too crowded, well, it's like us. We go to Sturgis. We've been going to Sturgis 10, 12, 13, 14 years now. And we don't go every year, but we've gone these last 3 or 4 years in a row. And we never sit in traffic. Never. But we're not going down and watch the concerts either. When we seen Kid Rock last time, we were right there. And I think when we watched Kid Rock before is when we were out of Shade Valley. So we went the opposite way.
Yeah, that's true.
We were with Art. And we went out the back way, which we didn't stay because it started storming so bad. And we parked in that dirt field, and it's like, I don't want my bike falling over with a million other bikes. And then if it's all mud,
parked in a dirt lot.
Yeah, it was back there on that back lot. And by the time the Kid Rock came, it was just dirt. There was no grass at all. So when people always say that it's too crowded, it's too commercial, tell me something that's not commercialized. Everything. This is commercialized, which is what we're doing right now. It's YouTube. It's all, we're talking about spending money. So it's everything is commercialized today. So when people say it's too commercialized, what's commercialized about it? Because I met some guys that I think it was in Daytona on one of the rallies and it's him and 7 buddies come every year for the last 10 years to Hill City, to this little campground that has 7 RV hookups. And that's all they do. They have not been to Sturgis in 10 years. They do not come into town. They go out and ride all day, come back, drink, cook, have a good time, get up in the morning and ride again. They do that for 4 or 5 days. They're there, and then they go home. So are they commercialized? So the rally is what you want. Yeah, if I'm going to go down here let's say we're going to stay at Days Inn Campground. But yet we're going to go to the Buffalo Chip every night and watch every concert. Yeah, it's going to be crowded as hell for the whole week. I'm going to have to fight that traffic back and forth, back and forth. First of all, I would say I'm a freaking retard for even staying a Days Inn when I'm going to go to the concert every night. So
there you go, Karen.
There you go. But when people say that, I say that all the time. And we try to argue with people, but some people just, I don't know. I don't know where they're at. Have you ever gone to a baseball game? Ever go to a football game? Have you ever gone to a NASCAR race? Have you ever gone anywhere there's crowds of people? It's crowded everywhere. Unless you live out in Timbuktu land. Out here in our roads gets busy at times.
Yeah. It's
hectic out here, and we're in a small town. So I don't know when people say that. I'm not going. But all the rallies, I have never been, okay, the only rally that we go to that's not busy is a rally that's not there anymore. Because it didn't, without having a crowd come to it, it's like the Love Ride, it's like Laughlin River Run, all that stuff. They died because of the poor management and things like that, and people didn't carry it on right. And now we're at this new stage. We have all these new people that don't know nothing about motorcycles, and they're coming to rallies and stuff. And there's not very many of those. And I always tell people, what are you looking when you come to a rally? That's what you have to do. I have my 3 things. My 3 things is some good riding. I like to have good vendors, and I like to have good people that I meet. Those are my 3 things. The rest of it, I don't care about the bands. I didn't come for that. I didn't come for the bars. I didn't come to buy T-shirts. I didn't come to buy a massage chair. And I don't need a mattress on my bike. So that's my 3 things.
This guy says, don't even go to Sturgis for the bands and the party, and I go for the rides. He's from California, Andy. He goes camping, fishing, and rides. Once I'm there, was there for 2 weeks, and he spent less than $900.
There you go. And it is possible.
Yes.
Look at Boxcar Willie. What's his name? The guy that lives on his bike.
Panhead Village. Scooter Trip Scotty.
He's like Boxcar Willie, but he's traveling on a motorcycle. But I mean, that guy, what he told me, I had no idea how he does it. But I mean, he works a couple days before the rally, and he works a couple days, the last 2 days of the rally, works at a leather shop, makes him a couple $100, and that gets him to the next rally. And then he goofs off or does whatever he wants to do, write and books or read and do whatever he's doing. And then he needs money again. He goes, gets money. He stayed in abandoned homes. He stayed, wherever he needs to stay. And that's great. And that's what he likes. And I love talking to him. The best thing I liked about him is all these guys, he says, they all come up to me and say, they want to do what I do. And he says, I have never had anybody last more than 30 days with me. And I'm like, why is that? He says, well, most of the time I'm sitting around doing nothing. I'm reading a book or I'm doing something like that. And they're like, they want to ride and they want to travel around. He says, that's not what I do. I'm living off the land. I'm
enjoying the land.
I go no farther than I have to go. And they said they get bored to death thinking that he's just traveling around. If you would have been around with Adam Sandoval when he was doing his dealer thing, there was a guy that was going around doing stuff. Yeah. Is he doing that now? No. He goes and does some rides and he does some adventure stuff. And now it's different because he's got a car following behind him all the time. That's the only way he can be switching around on those motorcycles all the time. Can't be riding a BMW and the next thing you see him, he's on a Harley and then he's on an Indian bike. Well, that bike doesn't change on its own. It's got to be a van behind him or a truck. It's got a trailer with a bunch of bikes in it and he switches out depending on what he wants to ride. And that's great. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's what he says. The same Brian guy says he goes to Dakota Mart, gets a box of chicken for $9.99 less than 2 days.
There you go. So that's it. We told people before, get you a jar of peanut butter and jelly and a loaf of bread. And
there you go.
You don't need any more than that. You could get you a foam cooler and a bag of ice and go out there in the woods. And
I can eat cereal 3 times a day.
So, you don't have, what's this? I don't know. We'd have to add it up what we spend. But I bet you we didn't spend, I don't know, $300-400 in 2 weeks probably on food. Because most of the time, a lot of times we only eat once
a day.
So we go in and spend $30 or $40 someplace, but we do it. We eat McDonald's too. So I don't know what's McDonald's when we go.
I do. I get my deals. I get us the 2 cheeseburgers, which I think are like 2 something, and then I got my little special McDonald's app. I get a large fry, and we get the dollar drinks, and it's usually under $10 for both of us.
There you go. And we ate there probably 6 to 10 times during those 2 weeks we were in Sturgis.
Yep.
So there you go, $10 meal. And it's
not 2, so it's $5.
It's not. And then we sit there and we refill the tea about a dozen times while we're sitting there, cool off, answer comments and stuff on the phones and stuff. And then we, because they got internet. Their internet sucks. I usually use my own.
Bring our hotspot in.
Well, I usually just bring the phones better than McDonald's. But I mean, there's places to go. Louis, we ate there several times. I don't know what was Louis' bill. It was probably under $30.
Yeah.
For two meals and 2 drinks.
And sometimes we split it. So because the Louis meals are big, but if we get the 2 little sliders, those are really good because it's like a half a hamburger, $7.99, French fries.
Then we buy a drink.
Yeah.
And so it's.
So Neil says American Legion, they've got good deals there. That's what he eats. He's got $140 planned for his dinners there so he knows he gets a decent dinner every night. It's $14 a night for 10 days, $140. There you go.
So there's places that you can go, but if you're going to stand there and eat first of all, I don't know. I always love the people that complain about the price of food and all that down there, and then they're like, it's too commercialized. Well, what are you doing downtown Sturgis the whole freaking time you're there? You're hanging out in downtown Sturgis. You're not going anywhere. What are you doing? I mean, I don't know. When you're out riding, like we go through Rapid, we'll stop and eat different places. Like we're going to go out to Custer or something like that on the way back. We can stop in. They got all kinds of restaurants there in Rapid City that are regular restaurants. You can eat at, I got a Dairy Queen in town too. But there's an Arby's out there. There's a Hardee's out there that we've ate at. And
I do that too at the Arby's. You get 2 for $6 for the regular roast beefs. Then I get 1 large fry and we split it. And then it's usually if we eat there at dinner time, I just get water and he gets a tea. And that's probably a little bit more. That was probably like close to $12 or $15.
So there's ways to say, and once in a while we do have, like we'll be leaving late in the morning or come back for something and she'll go, you want me to microwave a hot dog real quick and we'll eat that or grab a sandwich real quick before we head out. and that's enough to hold you over till dinner time.
Yeah.
So really, we're only buying usually one real meal a day, and so.
Thanks.
So
the future rallies are going to be held at Best Buy with the EV bikes coming out.
Could be.
I don't know. Best Buy may not be around too much longer either.
Yeah, they're going downhill too.
Have you gone to a Best Buy lately? There's like their shelves are slim pickings. I don't know.
Probably too much China stuff.
I don't know.
I mean, same thing. They just don't. Everybody's buying anything off the internet, and it could be like these vendors. It could eventually happen with that with the vendors. You know, you can buy so much stuff off the internet here, then you don't need to go to the rallies.
They're all wanting to know about Laconia. I don't know. We're probably not going to go.
Probably not. We got one phone call to make, but in this case, to me, Laconia wasn't worth.
Scotty.
What?
It said food stamp, Scotty.
I don't know if he gets food stamps.
I don't think so.
He probably qualified for it. But Laconia, to me, was not worth going to. I wasn't impressed with Laconia at all.
It was at our meeting too.
It had. But see, we were so far away, we couldn't do any nightlife, so I don't know. We did have one of our subscribers took us out on a boat. You know, we normally wouldn't do a boat ride in Laconia.
Yeah.
So we did that. Where Adam was at out to the racetrack. Now we didn't do any of the races. We could have gotten involved with that, and that probably should have been what we done. We could have probably got in there for free and filmed some of the races and stuff. That might have made it a little bit more fun. But going out there, it's like 25 miles out there from downtown, and there's nothing there. You know, just the vendors. There's nothing on the way there to really stop and see or do or anything.
There you go. Ryan says, Bob and Tam, you should start the Bob and Tam's Excellent Adventures Rally. Just think we could all rent an area and have a moving rally, one a year in one place, and the next year have it somewhere else.
Good.
Yeah.
But then you got to find all those places, and I don't know.
We had somebody that we used to follow, and they did one 2020, and they thought this was going to be every year. It's this thing called the RV thing, because we were going to be an RV channel when we started out. So we get there, and it was a lot of work, and he had a lot of people helping him, and it was the one and only RV thing.
Well, the next year they ended up going to Mexico.
Yeah.
Where if we would have been the YouTube channel, we would have been down there for 3 months with them in Mexico.
But I know it's a lot of work. Even just like putting together the ride we do. Well, the one we did this year wasn't that bad.
Because it was already something we were planning on doing anyway.
And then the meet and greet, that really wasn't too bad. Just we had to be there at that time. Mike helped us out a lot.
Well, we had to run around and get all the stuff to give away.
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, I don't know. It's just.
I mean, we didn't supply food or nothing. You already had a food truck there if you wanted to eat, which I don't think anybody really ate.
I think a few people did.
But they had the beer there and stuff. You could buy your own drinks and stuff. So it was kind of nice. It was nice to be there. It wasn't too awful hot. Didn't rain or anything, so we were able to, we kind of had that whole outside area. I think a few people I talked to gave tickets to. I think they weren't even subscribers. I think they ended up watching us after the fact.
I know. That's what they always said. They were like, how much? I gave everybody a ticket. I said, did I give you a red ticket? Oh, no, how much does it cost? It's like, no, they're free. It's the giveaway. Oh, okay, I'll take a ticket. So it wasn't a 50-50 raffle.
Yeah.
Everything was free other than if you wanted to buy your food or drink. That was.
So we weren't. The idea of when we do a lot of these things, we're not looking to make any money off it. Just like what we do here with the YouTube, we're not really looking to get rich off of this. We're looking to where it would just maintain itself, and then there's equipment they have to buy and stuff like that, and
think about that.
If we go into a bigger campground, if we have to start covering bigger events, we're going to need a couple cameras, and I'm going to maybe approach. If the one campground comes through, I may approach them to buy 2 cameras for us to. I don't know whether they'll do it or not, but it would be really nice. And it'd be mainly used for their event anyway. But so I don't know. There's a lot of things on the table here. We don't know really what's going on, but we can pretty much now sit down and all the rallies we've been to, just like Laconia, I can tell you what to do, what not to do. What's bad about Laconia is it's kind of like a lot of these other ones, like Myrtle Beach. There really isn't. Well, Myrtle Beach ain't so bad. Panama City is. Panama City, there's not a lot of campgrounds. And that's what hurts when you go to these rallies, and that's what Sturgis kind of spoils you because there's all these places that open up just for the rally. There's way more camping locations than there is hotels anywhere in the whole state of South Dakota.
Yeah.
So that's already the thing. Well, when you go to all these other rallies, Daytona only has one campground, really, Cackleberry, that caters to the rally. The other one, Crazy Horse, is just a dry camping area, which he did really good last year because we were talking about it. It's a place you can go for, I guarantee a spot at the last minute. And they don't take any reservations, first come, first serve. And so other than that, that's it. You go to Panama City, there's no campground there that's catered to the rally. Myrtle Beach has no campground. You're competing with the people that are already there on vacation. So you got to park your motorcycle. Most campgrounds make you park your motorcycle out on the street in a rock parking lot. You're parked a mile back. You never see your motorcycle again. And
well, Terry was saying he goes in June. So he says, if you don't want the commercialize of it, go in June and do your riding, and you don't have to worry about the parties, the vendors,
But then that same person would turn around and say, yeah, but it's not the Sturgis atmosphere. See, that's what it is. You could ride around all year round and never go to a rally at all and just enjoy the whole country. America is very beautiful. There's a lot of great places, even if you're going through Death Valley, or if you're going through Yellowstone, or if you're going through wherever.
Mitch says he went to a rally in Hawaii. Somebody else said that earlier too.
And just be way. You think it's commercialized here?
Well, just think of the products getting to Hawaii.
Well,
I mean, especially if you want to take your bike.
Yeah. Well, just to rent a bike over there is going to be crazy money. And so I don't know. I don't really have an answer for rallies. But I see the rallies as make it what you want it to be, and that's what it'll be. You don't, it's like all these people that whine and cry about all this stuff. It's like we got this big group page now. It's got like 26,000 people on our group page that we have. That's all about Sturgis. And somebody said, "Oh, are you going to change the I wonder if the administrator is going to change for next year." And I'm like, so. And then when somebody else in the comments said, "No, this guy's not going to do it because he's got a million scammers on here, spammers." And I'm like, I wrote on there, and I'm like, dude, that was like 4 weeks ago. That stopped. And before Sturgis ever started, we had it straightened out. And so it's like I don't really have any. Very seldom do I get anything even on it anymore. So yeah, we're going to continue using that and give out. And it's great. It's called the Sturgis 2002 82nd. Give good information and help. Share information and help. That's the channel. And it's got the Sturgis population sign. So we're going to change that because they upped the population now. It's 7,000 people live there. And we're going to change that probably around September 1st. We'll kick it over to the new year. And it's been a really good thing. I got one administrator, I got another girl who wants to be an administrator. If any of you that are on here that are regular people that I know, you can be an administrator. And an administrator can do a lot of things. But I don't go in there and screw with stuff. But
that's it.
Yeah, so that's my Sturgis page that I started about 4 or 5 months ago because we got kicked off the other two. They wouldn't.
Sturgis 82nd Rally 2022. So, share your info and help.
And there's a lot of really good stuff on there.
So a lot of you guys share a lot of information, and it's really cool because people ask us questions, and we don't always know everything. We don't know everything, and people jump in and answer, and it's really cool that everybody kind of helps everybody else.
Yeah. So and I put on some of the stuff because that's what the other person kicked me off because I couldn't put anything, which I don't normally post. Now on this one I do, but normally on other Facebook pages I don't normally post a video. What I'll do is in the comments, like somebody the other day said, "Hey, I'm planning 2023 in Sturgis. Where else can I get good information?" And I said, "Here's a link to our YouTube channel." And we talk all about that. You can see, we'll start talking here probably in December or February, December or January, we'll kick off Sturgis already for the year. We'll start giving you all the lowdowns on the campgrounds. We may even start sooner than that. It all depends on what happens, what campground we're going to stay at. It also depends on, we're waiting to hear from the city, and we got to get with the dealership because those are the only 3 places that actually plan rally ahead of time.
So Ryan wants to know how many days he should be in Sturgis in advance before the bike rally starts. I can't remember. How many days in advance should you show up before the Sturgis rally starts?
How many days do you want to ride? That's what it all. So that's what people don't realize. And then what do you want to do when you're there? See, that's what people don't. Everybody always wants to know that magic question. And it's like, first of all, what do you want to do? Do you want to see concerts? Do you want to hang out in downtown Sturgis? Do you want to ride? How many days do you want to ride? What are you looking to do? Or am I just looking to have a good time overall? Our overall time, that's what we did. We came 3 days before the rally started, and then we left. So if my way would be just like my neighbor across the street is talking, I would come, if I was doing this still my normal way, because I got 2 weeks vacation. So we had allowed time to ride the bike back
Get
then.
there,
We rode the bike. So we had 2 weeks. So we would stay Wednesday to Wednesday.
Thursday to Thursday.
No, I would do now Wednesday to Wednesday because they kicked the rally up an extra day. It's Friday now, it starts. So I'd want to be there on Wednesday. And what I do is when we arrive to Sturgis, we're only 200. What we do is we stay in Casper. That's our last night that we stay. It's 250 miles from there into Sturgis. So we can get into Sturgis before noon. And that way we can get into our campground where we're staying at or wherever we're going. Usually most of these places by noon, they'll usually let you check in, usually. And now some of these campgrounds are different. Some of them are first thing in the morning you can get there. But back then you had, if I could be there first thing in the morning, then I would probably be there around 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, I'd be rolling in. So that way I still got time, 250 miles, I'm not that tired. I could still go out and do some stuff. To where if we didn't spend a lot of time on Main Street. We went down Main Street, rode the bike down there once or twice.
See the bikes.
Yep. We walked up and down Main Street on both sides, and that's it. We didn't hang out there on the weekends or anything else. We did more things like, we used to do a lot with the full throttle because that was what got me out there. And that was the old full throttle. I don't like the new full throttle compared to the old full throttle. Old full throttle was a lot more fun. It was smaller. It was more personal. It was a lot more crowded than the big one. Big one's so spread out. It's just, I don't know. That feel of the old full throttle is not there. And almost everybody that's ever been to the old one's going to say the same thing. It's not the same place. And it's a different atmosphere. And he's trying to make it look different. He's not trying to make it the same place. He should have changed the name almost. But I don't know. But that's me. I would say Wednesday to Wednesday is good enough because that gave us enough time that we could do, Thursday and Friday, we could do our rides. I try to stay away from the weekends. If I'm going to go out on Saturday, I'm going to be out there at 8 o'clock in the morning. We're going to pull up to Iron Mountain or Needles Highway or whatever. I don't know if I'd recommend Custer anymore. A lot of people that went through Custer this year said they never seen the bison. Now we did. We had no problem seeing them. We went to the right place and seen them and all that. And I don't know what time of day people went, which we tell you have to be out there before 9 o'clock to see the bison. And if you're dragging out there at noon, they've already found some trees someplace and they're hiding. So, but I mean, it is nice now. It's all new asphalt. But I mean, it's not a lot of great riding. And if you don't get to see the bison, are you happy? If you just want to do Custer Park to say I did Custer Park, or if you're going to go to Devil's Tower.
Well, he would have been disappointed if we would have went to Custer's Park and not to see the bison. He wouldn't have been very happy. So, how far away are we from Sedona? So probably about, 2-3 hours.
No, we're farther than that. We're like Phoenix. It's like Phoenix. It's like a 4-hour drive, like 200 miles.
I didn't think we were that far, but
Google it.
I don't know. So they're still talking. You've probably got 10 minutes left, less than 10 minutes for 2 hours.
So that's what you have to think about is if you're going to do a rally, just go and do it. And we've done a lot of these. You can go back into our playlist and you can see, Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. You can see Leesburg.
3.5
You can
hours.
see Panama City. You can see Myrtle Beach. You can see Laconia. We got a series on Laconia. Laconia, I guess I probably wouldn't have been so disappointed if people wouldn't have told me how great the riding was up there, and it wasn't great. It's like somebody else the other day that was actually from that area. I said, have you ever rode in Texas? And he's like, yeah. Have you ever rode in Kentucky? Yeah. Have you ever rode in Tennessee? Yeah. Have you ever rode in the Ozarks? Yeah. Is it any different? No. Well, there you go. If you've never been there, it's like people that are in New York that go to Daytona and they love riding in Daytona. Why? Because the freaking sun's out and there's no snow on the ground. That's the only reason they want to ride. Some want to go all the way down to the Keys and go all the way to the end. It's a long freaking ride. Yeah. It's tough to make that in a day. And so those are things that and it's every rally is what you make it. And the only reason why I want to do Daytona again, there's a few places we didn't get to see the places. And we'd like to see that. And the other thing is we got someplace we can stay for free. So the expense of getting there is my only downfall. The whole time I can stay there, we have 2 different places now we can stay for free. So that's great. And that really helps a lot. And it's, if we had more, that's what I said. The only way I would go to Laconia is if there's somebody downtown Laconia that has places we can put the trailer at, or they got a place that they said, hey, you can stay in our house or whatever and have a private entrance or whatever. Then yeah, maybe. But I want to be able to see what's going on downtown. The couple bars they have used to be the Broken Spoke. I forget what it's called now.
High Tower? No, that's the one on Main or the Weir's Beach. I forget. I
mean, there's like 3 main bars. Actually, we went over there to the one over in Maine. Actually, looked like a great place to go hang out. Bentley's. That looked like a party place. I wouldn't mind doing a weekend there. And screw Laconia. I think I'd have a lot more fun there. But
he's got a campground back there.
Yeah, he does. That's what I said. Maybe sometime I might try that. Not during the Laconia rally. I'd like to go some other time when it's not so crazy, where more people are there for that rally. So yeah, so it is. And the rallies are what you want to make it. And some people, we've met a lot of people. We've met some people that have come to rally just because we're there. They met a couple single guys that have rode with us and stuff on some of the different rides we went on because they always want to go to rally and they didn't know anybody. And that's why I said, join us and we'll find somebody. A lot of this time we didn't really do it as much as we did last time, where we try to get a lot of you guys to get together and you go do rides together. Plan out stuff ahead of time. Just like here, you can start talking stuff on these lives saying, hey, I'm going to get here on Wednesday. Who's going to be here on Thursday? Let's go do Iron Mountain together. And because it is, the more people, it's like she does, the more people you have go with you on a ride, the more fun it is versus you just going by yourself. Yeah. There's more people you can talk to, you can chat with them, you can experience different things, and
get to be best friends. Like some of our subscribers got to meet up, and now they're best friends. They said, "Would you ever go to Eureka Springs?" That's what he wants to go back. We did it a couple last year, I guess, year before last.
I would would put it on the agenda for 2024. I don't know what 2023. I don't know what year. I don't know when they're going to have it. They moved it back this time. Rogers is taking it over, so we'll have to see how Rogers does with it. I'm really confident. I'm hoping Rogers does really good with it. Maybe it'll be another Sturgis someday. But see, when you're starting to get over more this way, and it's hard to get the big trucks to come this way if you want to get into the big trucks. J&P Cycles, Zero, Rick Rack. I guess that's some of the 3 bigger trucks. But I mean, sometimes people want to see Vance and Hines trucks and Progressive shocks. All the different ones that come out. It's like here in Sturgis. Where would you have ever seen 3 places that Legends has that they're setting up, putting shocks on? The factory's putting them on. You would have never seen that anywhere else. Rockford Fosgate, they had 2 or 3 setups that the factory was there installing stuff. So, there's a lot of, that's the difference with Sturgis is you get to see all that big trucks. And in Daytona, it's only at Destination Daytona and mainly over at J&P Cycles. He brings in, S&S is going to be there.
A small yard.
Cobra, a whole bunch of different ones do that.
But Jay Rathman said he had to leave. He says, I got to go mow my yard before it gets too late. And he came back. He says, geez, you guys are still here? I already mowed my yard. I said, must have a small yard. Or he's got a ride lawnmower. Charlie wants to play. He's got one of his toys out.
We're ignoring him.
Yeah.
It makes noise.
So they're talking about doing a rally up in Alaska.
Good luck with that.
Well, Neil says there's one that's up there, but we stayed up Mountain Deadwood. The nights are downright cold. It can get chilly up there.
Well, anywhere in Sturgis, it gets into the 60s at night. So if you're up in the mountains, which that's what's weird about South Dakota. You don't really notice it when you're riding because our mileage on my truck sucked. We got like 16 miles a gallon not pulling the trailer. And usually I'm in around 20.
Close to 20 or over 20. So.
And here, and it's got to be because it's such a slow incline going up and down all the time that it had to have been what ate up all my gas. Now the bike, I don't ever look at my bike what gas mileage is.
It'll tell you now.
Yeah, with new gauges, but I don't really look at it normally because it's ride the bike. I'm doing it to ride the bike. I don't, it's like us. We got to weigh it every day with a tank of gas. We didn't use up a whole tank. We used about 4 gallons or more every day that we went on an all-day ride. So,
I forgot what I was going to say. Have you ever partied at the Hells Angels house? We've been to the Hells Angels, or he's been to the Hells Angels house. Harry wants to play with his little lamb chop.
I don't know if I would go party with them or not. Just for the fact, one, I would never take her to a 1% party. But we have a lot of do the wrong thing. We have a lot of 1%ers. We actually sat down with a 1%er right before we left here and chatted with him. and I was asking what goes on at their campground and all that kind of stuff like that. And you know, it'd be neat. I'd love to go over there and film, but of course that wouldn't be exciting for them. So that it's okay that they know that some of them watch me, but for me to come in there and I'm not part of their club, I don't think it's.
Well, there's probably a lot of stuff. I mean, we find out a lot of stuff. They tell us things, so we are a little more knowledgeable about their clubs, but there's probably a lot of things we don't know, and I would not want to go and do the wrong thing at the wrong time.
This last one that we just talked to, he basically told me it actually goes back to the olden days. You know,
so like your kindergarten skills.
Well, back in the 30s and the 40s, where people were, you know, you wore uniforms to work and all that stuff. Everybody dressed the same. You know, you had you always shook people's hands. You would never think of shaking somebody's hands with the gloves off. If you talked to somebody, you would take your sunglasses off so you could look them in the eyes. So there's a lot of things that I never really thought about it until he said that a lot of the things in these clubs are actually going back to people having manners and people respecting each other and things like that. And it's like, it's interesting. I never looked at it that way. And so that's kind of what, you know, and you do hear crazy stuff that goes on out there. There's prospects that do crazy stuff because they think they have to get their patches quicker. And that's the ones that seem to cause more trouble. But I mean, from what I've been told, and I haven't had any of them disagree with me yet, that if we go into a bar, like if we were in the Knuckle Bar, if they did allow colors or cuts in there, and we went in there and there's 25 or 30 of them inside that bar, it'd be best to turn around and walk on out. Why? Because it ends up being, and this has been told by me, but several of them now have said the same thing, that after a while they're in a bar, they feel that it's their bar and they take control of that. And it's not like as bad as it used to be. It used to be they locked the door, and if you were in the bar, you didn't leave the bar. You had to stay until they were done partying. And so I've heard different stories from different people that have worked in bars that they've been hit over the head with bottles and stuff like that in some of the parties that they have. But so that it's just like we went to Miss Newbies this year, and there was probably 75 to 80% of the people there were 1%ers, all different clubs. And it's like, I looked at her and said, well, first of all, we can't film any of this. I probably could film a lot more than I do because they don't really say anything to me. Some of the other YouTubers have been yelled at by some of them. One of them, I don't think it was 1%er, but when I was in Laconia, I was filming in a bar, high shot of the band playing and stuff. And the guy goes, watch what you film. Well, dumbass, I'm already watching. I know I'm not going to turn to the guys on 1% and say, hey, look at me, buddy. I got a camera on your ass. Hey, how's it going? I got enough brains.
Well, the one we talked to too, they said they realize when they're out in a public place like on Main Street in Sturgis, they realize everybody's got cameras out, everybody's taking pictures, everybody's doing videos. There's so many people doing YouTube now that they realize that. So they're taking that chance of going out if they don't want to be filmed. Yeah. That there's a
but for you to go in their clubhouse or like in a bar, because it's more of a closed situation when you walk into a bar. But anybody that's filmed out in public. I've had people say this before to me. You can't film me. Dude, you're on Main Street. You can't film me without my permission. Once again, you're on public. There's nobody. You can't stop people from, somebody could be just panning the audience, panning the crowd out there, and you're going to get into their video. And there's nothing you can do about it because you're in a public place. The only place that can do it is if the city of Sturgis would say, no filming, no photography, nothing allowed on the city streets of Sturgis, or you'll be fined. Well, nobody in the right mind is going to do that, but businesses do that. We have been asked a couple times. We were out in Hill City, and crazy lady at the museum didn't want us to film, which we didn't even have a camera on.
Oh, that was the Brogman.
Don't waste your money going to that loser place. Read the book.
Anyway, yeah.
They don't want any advertising.
Yeah. Yes, she says, you can't film in here. Because I walked in with the camera on, and she said, you can't film in here. And I said, well, I guess the lady from Hill City was telling her that, Keystone. Yeah, that we were doing a little piece on Keystone and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, we're not even open during the rally. She said,
all they want to do is come in and use the bathroom.
So I was like, okay, thanks. Have a nice day. Goodbye.
Broadman Museum. Don't waste your money. They don't want us. They don't like bikers. They close up. So screw
Yeah. So somebody said they went. It was everything they expected, but it was way spread out. What?
So, any more questions? So if you're thinking about 2023, that's what you need to start thinking now.
A lot of them are waiting for us.
I understand that, and that's great. So, but if you're thinking with us, you have to decide what you want to do. If you want to be in a section where we're at, you're either going to have to bring a trailer, rent a trailer, or have a tent. There's your choices. The cabins are around us, but not close. You won't be able to see us from the cabin door. The cabin door, you won't be able to see us from the cabin door. And those are on the dusty side where they were at. And so I think by the time you rent some of their cabins, you're almost at the same price as you could rent a trailer for it. I would rather have an RV rental than a cabin. RV's got at least a John in the shower.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like she's thinking we might just take showers in the trailer. And last year, if you paid ahead for it, you could pay $40 a head and get dumped. Or
so if we had it done 2 or 3 times, twice would probably be more than.
Well, we're probably going to be there We're probably going to be there 3 or 4 weeks before the rally starts.
So we'll probably have to have a pump that first day, and then maybe once in the middle, and then we can dump before we go. So at least 2.
But we can usually do in our trailer, we can usually make it a week. Well, we have a bigger tank. We have 100 gallons of fresh water. We have 45 black.
I figured it was 18 days.
Yeah, we never took a shower.
I know, but
we didn't shower for 18 days.
No, we went to the shower house at Kathmandu, and we made it. So I was worried, but we made it.
I didn't think the toilet would overflow.
I don't know.
We're gone all day, so you're not using the toilet during the day. You're only using it at night.
Use it mostly at night, and we did have a little porta potty right across the way from us. So good night, Grandpa and Cracker Billy and Sandy. You guys have a good night. You'll have to tell me some of your more stories if it's more than what I said or what I know. They said they had quite the experience. I don't know, means going home in Sturgis. They're the ones that had the Suzuki bike, and but
did you get your bike fixed?
No. Well, I don't know. Did you get it fixed since you've been home? Because I know you didn't. Well, she said she's waiting for her new Sportster next year.
I would have just sold it. You should have just took it down there to that
Rumble On.
Let them buy it.
Probably would have got a decent price for it.
Well, none of it.
Ever see the movie Bronx Tale, where the bikers got beat by the mafia dudes? Hilarious. No, I don't think we've ever seen that one.
Never heard of that movie.
The Bronx Tale. I don't know. Yeah, and we made lots of friends. It was so nice meeting all of you guys. It was awesome.
Which it was. That's probably the most thing that we liked about this rally more than any rally we've ever been to. It's going to get bigger and bigger too. Is we meet more and more of you. What's been really great at this year was we met a lot of you that are on here right now. Yeah. And that's what really made it more special to us than anything else, because we now can put faces to the people that we just see on here.
Yeah.
And that's kind of neat. And we get to meet a few of you. You know, most of you know who we are, and you figured it out. If you haven't figured it out, we are who we are. we're not putting on any act. And so I think you already know all about us, but we don't know anything about you guys. So by going here and talking to you and spending a little time, and somebody wrote me email or a messenger or something and said, hey, I really appreciate it. I didn't think you would spend that much time talking to me the other day, whenever it was. And it's like, well, we don't, which we tell people that all the time. We don't mind you talking to us when we're eating, or if we're talking to another person. The odds are we're talking to another subscriber. No. The only time I always say is if you see a camera. Like there was one guy, poor guy in Myrtle Beach, when they were putting in my Dakota gauges. He kept coming up. He finally left. And he never did get to meet us. And I kind of felt bad for that, because I kept seeing him, but I had to film that. I had to film until we were done putting the gauges in. And so I don't know. That was kind of bad time. But normally we don't. The filming that we did this time on the bike, none of you were anywhere around. None of you even knew where we were at. Yeah. One we were at Speeds, the other one we were at the Harley Davidson dealer. So that videos will be coming up soon. So, and then the gauges, we did have some people come and talk to us at the gauges when they were putting in the, doing the, all the features that the new gauges have. So we had a couple people walk up there, but first of all, the guy wasn't going to do it. He kept saying, "Oh, I don't want to do it."
I know, he kept saying, "No, I'm not talking." It's like, well, we had already talked about it at the.
I wouldn't have drove out there if you wouldn't have said that.
I know, and so then he's like, "Well, let's go, I guess." And so I walked up to him and I bumped him. I said, "So we drove all the way out here and you're not going to talk?" He's like, "Well, I guess I'll say something." I'm like, "Well, I don't know. I don't know why he was so didn't want to do it. I mean, it was hot, and I understand that.
Unless he didn't really care for his video that I did the first time. He stuttered too much, and I didn't fix all that. Just laid it on the line like he talked about.
Did you show the shop and stuff behind him where he was? I filmed all the stuff inside.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so, but that was probably the coolest part of Sturgis was meeting all you guys.
And this year we did a lot, like Topless Tuesday. I don't think I wouldn't even waste my time ever going out there again, unless something drastically changes. I'm gonna look at the pictures here next week or this week, I guess.
Yep,
we'll be looking at the pictures and seeing. I'll have copies of all that, and I got to put all the hard drive, all the video for him, what I shot, and check it all out. And we'll see what kind of girls were there. But just, which it is, everybody that watched my pre-rally one, the one I put up the next day that you can't show any boobs, that it was 99.9% guys running around. There wasn't as many girls as we have seen in the past. And it was just awful. And
Charlie says your time is up. He's done.
So I don't know. I think that's a waste of time. I probably wouldn't go all that way out there for that chance. You can, I got a lot of shots of girls without their tops on all over Sturgis. I've got probably more girls that I've got that you'll be seeing if you're on Patreon and the $25 one than you are going to see out there at Topless Tuesday. So they're out there. You don't have to go that far to find them.
Billy on Crap on a Cracker says his battery wouldn't hold the charge in his Jeep, and then a rock went through his windshield, and he limped 600 miles out back to the Jeep dealer. They repaired it, but they're home now. So you guys had quite the Sturgis
We haven't heard our story yet.
Well, ours wasn't too bad.
Well, that's good. I fixed it all. If I wouldn't have been able to fix it, it would have been 3 or 4 hours on the side of the road. Waiting for the tow truck.
Neil says you would give the Energizer Bunny a run for his money. Mrs. Energizer Bunny is not able to keep up as much anymore.
She needs new batteries.
How do you like the new Dakota gauges? We're thinking of getting them for their Harley Davidson Wide Glide, Ryan.
Yes.
He loves them. He said if he'd have known what he knows now, he would have paid for them a long time ago. He would have got
Just with all the information that it gives you now.
Well, what year is your bike too? Doesn't it have to be a certain year?
No, if well,
as long as it's got a computer chip in it.
No, it's the 14 through the 16 will have everything that my bike's going to tell you. The newer ones doesn't give out quite as much information, but it still gives you a lot more than what you're getting off the gauges you have now. So he explains that when I do it out. That video will come up here maybe this week. I'll throw that up, but that should be an easy one for me to throw up and put that together for you. But yeah, I'm overly impressed. But you can call out there to Dakota Gauges or to this Dakota Digital. You can call out there and talk to them, and somebody would tell you all the things that it'll tell you on the phone. They're pretty helpful and pretty nice out there.
It's 2016. So
yeah. 2016 would be just like mine. It tell you all the stuff that's going to be on mine. So you can, it's just.
Because then I have to be careful and say, oh yeah, it'll tell you all that stuff. And then if it's an older bike, if they didn't have.
Well, 14, you can't do it before 14. It's not going to tell you a whole lot because you don't have the computer giving you all that. See, the 14s when they started giving the computer that had all this vast knowledge. I was going to buy a tuner. You could buy this scan tool that would tell you, like if you turn the turn signal on, it'll tell you if the computer is reading it or not. So if it's not reading it and it's not flashing in the back, well, then you know it could be the switch because it's not getting anything. But if it's telling it's flashing in the computer saying it's flashing, well, the switch is good and it's good to the computer. Now there's a problem with the wiring going back to the bulb. Could be the socket, could be a cut wire. So I wanted to buy that tool. It's like $6,000. Guess we ain't getting that. But that's how much the computer has on these new bikes, has all this vast knowledge, oil pressure, and all this stuff, but they just don't give you any of that crap. They don't want to give you
it's there, but they don't let you.
Yeah, the information's there. They just don't want to give you a device to see it on. So I love it now that I can see my oil pressure and an idle and.
Well, Anzor Latham wanted it for his bike out front because he wanted to see the temperature on the heads versus. Because that's what the love jugs do. It's his whole purpose of running the bike is how cool it keeps the engine. And he says if it doesn't do that, it won't do me any good. So I think they figured out that it would.
Mine will do that.
Yeah. So, but I don't know what year is his bike.
It's probably in that range.
So I don't know. Anyway.
It's not that new.
So.
All right, so I guess we'll wrap it up. If you don't have any more questions, we'll end up our Sunday night live.
Oh, somebody asked about the governor in our interview with her. We didn't really get an interview, but we got a few words out of her. That's about
She was
it.
nice, and we didn't stay all around because we had to go meet you guys that were at the.
That was our meet and greet.
Yeah, and we never did get to hear her talk on the stage and see what she had to say. I like the lady, but I mean, there's a lot of people that don't like her because of the pot situation and all that. But it's
somebody said that she should be in charge of one of the bike washes. They'd let her watch her bike.
She probably wouldn't do it though.
I don't know. She's a cutie, that's for sure.
Yeah, doesn't hurt your eyes any.
Do you have a referral code for the gauges? I don't think so. You can just tell them Bob and Tam sent you. That's why you're there to get
So, we're not giving. We don't
get a kickback for them, but
we don't have anything.
You might if you mention our name.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So what we do is have you tell them if you want to order them and put them in yourself, you can call Dakota Digital and say, hey, I seen this from Bob and Tam's Excellent Adventures. They're the ones that recommended the gauges, and I'm going to buy them because they said so. If you're going to call the Fairing Exchange and you're going to have them put them in somewhere along the road here, they're all over the place. So if you don't want to put them in yourself, you might call Paul and see where he's going to be because he could be in your backyard. This guy is all over the United States.
Yes.
He's all over the place. So he's out of Florida?
Yeah. I think Jacksonville's where he's at.
So, but he's everywhere.
He is. And if he's like within 300 miles, he'll say, okay, well, we'll swing by that way on our way somewhere else. And he'll stop and he'll go to a Harley dealer and do whatever he wants done.
Yeah. So,
Gauges or
if you're wanting somebody to do it, give him a call first and see if you're wanting to put them in yourself, then just call Dakota Digital and tell them that we referred you there. And that way we just get brownie points. And that way, if we call and we need something or want something, they are more likely to give it or help us out. We got some banners to put up in the garage from them. Got 2 of them.
Yeah.
Big ones. I looked at them.
And did you see one from Indian?
No, I didn't know.
Terry still wants that one. He wants to know what he can do to get that from you. He's the one that fed all the Indian bikes we met at Meekums.
I haven't even looked at it. I want a 75th anniversary Sturgis Indian dealer. Unless I open it up and it looks like crap, but I mean, I'm just imagining it's to have something from the 75th is priceless.
It's a little dirty, but I mean, it's in decent shape.
I can wipe it off. Clean it.
There's Nicholas. He must have just came on, and we're just.
We could probably take a picture of it, and then take the picture and have a printer make it up for you.
It's true.
Because if you're only going to show it yourself, keep it in your garage or something like that, so you don't try to sell it or give it away to somebody. Who would know? There's no copyright. There is a copyright probably on it, Sturgis Indian dealer. But
anyway,
maybe if I die, she'll sell it to you.
I'll give it to you. So thanks for hanging out tonight. We enjoy hanging out with all you guys. It's good to see you guys all on there. We had a lot of people on today. I almost got up to 200, I think.
I forgot to do the
monetization.
Yeah.
So anyway. Thanks for hanging out with us. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Share us with your family and friends. Think about Patreon. Give us a big thumbs up. Ring that bell for notifications. And we'll see you on the next video. And if you're on, don't forget to give us a thumbs up before you leave. Charlie's hot and he wants to. Oh, Blakey was on the whole time. Hey, Blake. I'll see you in a couple days. 2 days. Monday, Tuesday. I'll see you Tuesday. How about that? I'll pick you up from school. Oops. Let me see. Everybody's saying goodbye. There's Greg and Gwen. Love the video. Love the live. They're saying goodnight to Neil. And see y'all later. Two-time Wheelan. Clint's on. He says bye. Awesome to meet you guys. It was awesome to meet all you guys too. Lifer, Nave, 33. And his wife, Sandy. Good night. Nope, they're still saying good night. And that's 1 down and 3 up. He changed his name. Good night. Do your waving.
You haven't hit the last one yet.
Goodbye.